Bing. Hey, how you doing? Welcome back. And all that stuff. We're at CEG Dealer School. I'm with my buddy Troy.
Hi, how's everybody doing today?
Yes. And I guess we're going to keep talking for a minute. We'll let people... we're actually on time today, buddy. We're only 5 minutes late, which is like...
That's not bad for us.
That's like pretty good.
That clock is wrong.
Oh, that clock is wrong.
Oh.
Whoa. We're only 1 minute. Oh, we're on time. You kidding me?
That's even better.
We're on time. We're going to be rolling out this show earlier, just so you know. We're going to be moving this show is moving to the mall. We're going to be at our new space at Fashion Show. I wish we had more pictures. We're going to for the next we're going to start posting pictures for everybody. Basically, the first 10 minutes is inane nonsense updates for the channel.
Okay.
Because we're waiting for people to kind of load up and queue up because they're just now seeing we went live, and it takes everybody a minute. Some people are probably finishing up in the toilet, getting popcorn, this kind of thing. So this is actually a special thing. So Troy and me, I always say everything walks in the door of the school, by the way. Meaning like every single thing that school is needed, Casino Quest is needed, they all come through that door. Interestingly, me and you worked together in 1996.
I was only 7 at the time, but I caught a break and they hired me.
Yeah, right. You actually started working there before me.
December 1993.
Yeah, so I came in 96. I was hired in advance of them opening the Masquerade Village. I was there about maybe 6 months early. I don't remember exactly. And you were one of the first people I remember actually seeing there. I started there. So I went to like 8 to 4s or some godforsaken 8 to 4 or 9 when the Masquerade Village opened. Okay. But I started on 7 to 3s, which was your shift.
Yes. And
I remember you holding court in the EDR. Now, you were the first person I remember seeing.
Wow. And
all those years ago. And I kind of sat by myself, but I was listening to you. You were talking about a pre-shift that they had.
Yep. Oh,
and
yeah.
That was one of the first casinos that had pre-shifts that I had worked at. And there was quite a few of those.
Yes. Our voluntary mandatory pre-shifts, by the way.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so we'd have a lot of big players come in, or something would change, and they would have you show up for the pre-shift. Yep. And voluntary, you didn't get paid for it, but mandatory sort of thing.
Yes.
That was always a thing. All right, so do we have enough people to start the whole?
Yeah, start.
Oh, okay, here we go. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, we got a few topics here, my friend. First, I wanted to kind of introduce. So, what's your background? This is Troy, by the way.
Hi. Hello, everybody.
Troy, you've been a dealer here in Vegas a long time.
1990.
1990. You started before me.
Yeah. El Cortez. $1.78 an hour.
You went to the left. I went to the right. I went up to the gate.
That's where my brother went.
Yeah.
Yes.
So back then, you basically El Cortez Gate. That was pretty much it.
Yep.
Most of the other places that became break-in houses weren't really break-in houses. Like the Fremont will take some break-ins if you know dice. That's not a thing back then.
No.
Lady Luck, not Lady Luck. Lady Luck. Remember, Lady Luck existed back then. It's no longer. It's downtown Grand.
Yes. The Mint would, but the Mint had their own dealing school.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So the Four Queens also, that was a good job. That was a table for table job. Really good job. You didn't break in there.
No.
Believe it or not, if you go in there today and go to the Four Queens, you won't believe that used to be like one of the best jobs to have in town.
That's how the business works.
That's how it works.
We both know that.
Now, not so much. All right, so give us your history. So where have you been?
I was downtown messing around probably for the first 6 months.
Okay.
Then one day I get the phone call. Frank Toady wanted me to come in for an audition at the Gold Coast.
The Frank Toady.
I show up at the Gold Coast. I walk to the dice pit to meet Mr. Frank Toady for my audition. And the foreman told me, he just went to lunch. Come back in an hour. So I said, okay. And I went to walk away. And the other foreman called me back and said, hey, man, you're in the wrong casino. My mom took the memo wrong. I was supposed to be at the Barbary Coast.
At the Barbary. That was the other Frank Toady place.
So I ran over to the Barbary Coast, and luckily he had just gone to lunch, as a matter of fact, and I entered in audition with Jim Casper. Wow.
At the Barbary Coast.
At the Barbary Coast.
Yes.
And back then, if you dealt dice, you dealt dice.
Yeah, you just dealt dice.
Yes.
By the way, just real quickly, because people don't know what Frank Toady. So Frank Toady has sort of been attached at the hip to Michael Gaughan here in Vegas for I don't know how long, probably forever. Michael Gaughan is the son of Jackie Gaughan, who started the Plaza El Cortez. and then moved on to basically start Barbary, and then ultimately moved on to the Gold Coast. The Gold Coast, he brought in a whole bunch of celebrities who helped sort of finance. Among them, Chuck Norris.
Little Chucky.
A little Chucky,
Yes.
Chuck Norris, who I got to meet a couple times. He would come in there and walk through the place. Okay. And then now, Michael Gaughan segued to opening the Orleans, and then he sold the Orleans and the Gold Coast to Boyd, and now he is literally at the South Point. Okay. So he owns the South Point for him. But keep going, sir. Keep going.
So I spent 2.5 years at the Barbary Coast, and one day my best friend, Tony Francisco, who we're going to meet at the Barbary Coast, we're going to golf one day, and he's going to pick me up, and he's going to the Rio for a job interview. We lived on the west side of town, and he didn't want to drive past my house to the Rio and come back and pick me up, so he goes, just come with me. I filled out an app just for shits and giggles. I don't know if I can say shit, but I just did.
Yeah. We'll edit it out later. No, I can't.
Connie was looking at my application.
Connie.
She goes, how long have you been dealing?
Yeah.
And I said, a little bit less than 3 years. And she goes, oh, I'm sorry. You need 5 years and 2 games to work here.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, okay.
Tough.
She turns over my app, because back then you had to handwrite your app.
Yeah.
And she said, where are you currently working? I said, I've been in the Barbary Coast for 2.5 years. Oh, that counts. Because she knew we moved the dice.
Yeah.
She knew I had 5 years experience. That's how I got into the Rio.
Yeah.
Only because I was going golfing that day with Tony Francisco, and only because I'd been at the Barbary Coast for 2.5 years.
Wow. That was the thing. Back in the day, the Gold Coast as well used to move so many checks for dice.
Yes.
So you got a lot of props for as a dealer.
Yep.
I worked at gate. I moved a lot of checks dealing birds at the gate because it's still a bird game. You broke in on a bird game too.
Yes. Oh, 100%.
50
yellow
cents.
birds.
50-cent moving game. Yellow birds at Golden Gate. 50-cent moving bets. What did you guys have? What did you start out with? Same
25
thing.
cents.
25 cents moving?
Yes,
Oh no, I had the big time, buddy. Golden Gate, 50 cents.
Wow. I should have went there first.
So that means 50-cent moving bets was you had to bet 50 cents in the come, 50 cents on the line. You couldn't just do a quarter. So apparently El Cortez really was a quarter moving bets.
Yes.
Oh my God. Gold Coast was, you know what? Actually, now that I think about it, it's the Gold Coast that was 50-cent moving bets.
Okay.
And the Golden Gate, I think, was 25 cent. Was still 25. Because I remember we had so many guys buying for a stack of birds, play all day long.
Yes.
And then halfway through the day, whine about getting a pack of cigarettes and a drink because they've been there. You know what I mean?
All day on $20. Yeah.
Or they get the rainbow. So the rainbow was $25 or $125 if you can muster it. It was $20, a stack of aces, stack of bullets, and $5 for birds. So when I went to the Gold Coast, it was 6 bits. You could do 6 bits. I think you could do 75 cents coming. 6 bits, by the way, 75 cents. So 75 cents. I think it was 75 cents, maybe. I don't know. But there was 8 across. That was like the big time. But you moved a lot. A lot of checks. It was amazing. You had 8 people aside all day long, especially on the bird game. You would walk in and you would go to that game just to see how busy it was because you knew you were going to be bent over and see what kind of action. And you just prayed for some guy to, play greens maybe, reds to kind of, break up the monotony. But okay, so you go to the Rio.
I get hired there, and we were extra board. And back then, extra boarders ran a lot different than it is now. It took us both about 15 months to get full time.
No.
Now it's years and years.
I got so lucky at the Rio. That was the first lucky. I was all lucky there. I'd never been lucky before, which I had some of the worst jobs you could ever imagine.
Okay.
Rio, I got lucky. But anyway, I'm gonna let you go. Go. Keep going. After the Rio.
I was at the Rio, and in our industry, the casinos that are making money today aren't going to make money every year. At one time, the Riviera was a great job.
Yeah,
I have relatives that work the Riviera. They made a lot of money. The Mirage still makes good money, but not what they used to make.
Yeah.
And the Rio topped out in 2006. We averaged $260 a day back then, which was awesome, and it started going down. And there's theories as to why it went down. Nobody will ever really know, but all of a sudden, Aria's opening. Let's apply it, Aria. I got lucky. I got into Aria. Back to the extra board.
Wow.
Right back to the extra board, which was still good. I was still working at least 2-3 days a week, sometimes 4 and 5. You learn to balance how to make your money last. I got lucky and got hired as well at the Cosmopolitan part-time. All was on swing shift.
Cosmo and Aria, just
which
at the same time.
Great. All that money, but working 6-7 days a week takes a toll on you.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of dealers that work 2 part-time jobs, swing shift and graveyard and day shift. 16 hours.
16 hours a day.
Of dealing.
You just worked 5
all
to 7,
swing shift.
all swing shift, as many as you can get.
Exactly.
I know you know who one of Alex's friends. He's a Bellagio Cosmo dealer. He drives around the Bentley, the older Bentley. You know who I'm talking about.
I've heard of
we
him,
don't need to mention him, but he had 3 jobs at one point: Hard Rock, Bellagio, and Cosmo. I
picked up a day for him, one shift, and I'm like,
"Did you?
You really need 3 jobs?"
Yeah.
He goes, "I like nice things."
Yeah, he does like
Fair
that.
enough.
He drives a Bentley, makes a ton of money.
But to work 3 jobs.
Yeah. He's also an accountant.
Is he really?
He literally he does taxes too.
Some people. Wow.
I mean, like, dude, when do you like go to the bathroom?
Yeah, exactly. You got to take a break somewhere.
I mean, I guess that Bentley, there's plenty of room. You could just belly up. All right. So very interesting career. So great to have an Aria dealer here at the school. So you've been helping out as an instructor.
Yes.
And we also have you over at Casino Quest. This is one of our new instructors at Casino Quest. It's an easy atmosphere because it's all fans. It's all people who are interested in just learning. No one's there to stroke you. No. They're all asking questions. It's kind of a good thing. When I was teaching this class, we have dealers that start. All of them want to get to Aria. Obviously, they all want to jump over a few levels and sort of. They don't understand. You got to have presence on the game. You got to have confidence on the game. There's these things that don't material. It's not about nepotism. Or not anymore. You can't jump. You can't move ahead. Even Alex had a lot of juice at Caesars and Wynn, right? But he couldn't go right to those properties. He had to put in his time because when you're breaking in, you just don't have control over your game like you do once you get some experience and you start dealing with all these. I remember Connie, by the way. God.
Connie Miner. I wonder what the heck happened to her.
She also was not. By the way, I was a terrible blackjack dealer. There was one day they needed me over there, and we were doing the crew breaks. Where one crew is breaking another crew, and so they pulled me over to blackjack, and I was like, oh my god, I hadn't dealt blackjack in 5 years or something since then, or whatever it was.
Okay.
And of course, as I'm setting up, I'm putting out my first hand. I get a card down inside. And, I had to wait, and then, they gave me permission to pick up the card. And then I had a check down inside.
Oh, jeez. Everything's going down inside.
And then she comes over, and she's like, how the hell are you a Rio dealer? Yeah. But what was his name? Steve was always on my side. The ship boss, our ship boss?
Earl,
my bad.
Hayes.
Earl Hayes.
Yes.
He loved me.
Yes.
He was the one who hooked me up with that job and got me squared away. Because I was the dice dealer. I focused on dice. At that point,
that's how it was.
That's really how it was. Yes. And they needed me. I was good. I'd play, I'd run that cap game and deal that big action. I loved it. Okay. Here's what we want to do. First of all, we got a few. We don't have all that many news stories. There's lots of news, believe it or not, going on. But one of the biggest things we have going on right now is if Dennis has this. Did I send you the one about all the shows coming back, Dennis?
You did it,
but I think you did. You actually did. So one of the exciting things, and this is where Vegas is turning the corner, is we have a lot of shows coming back. 40-plus shows now are scheduled to return in the next couple weeks because they eliminated the moat. So they used to have this moat policy where everybody had to be back so many feet from the stage.
Okay.
And if a lot of Vegas venues built these really intimate settings, and so if you do 25 feet back from the stage, there's no audience. That's back to the wall kind of thing. You can't have any. This moat kind of screwed everybody up, even if you had, so besides the 50%, they got rid of the moat, and a lot of really great shows are starting to come back, so that's a great thing. So what are your thoughts about Vegas making a comeback now? What do you think?
I believe it's on the upswing just because I see more people here. I talk to people, and I've been on the Strip myself. And before, people were saying, oh, it's just California people. Now I see people, and I see license plates from other states.
Yeah.
I see more rental cars. I know some people claim Uber and Lyft are slow right now because a lot of those drivers would rather be on unemployment. But the ones that are out there are working hard.
Yeah.
They're driving a lot of people around town, and I think our next logical step is conventions, which I know Aria has been running convention tests where they simulate the convention and they test the people before, and then after they run the convention, they test them after to see if there's any effects. And apparently, everything's running smoothly.
Yeah.
The way they want to do it, and
Strip's been packed, dude.
yes.
Strip's been absolutely packed. If you see any of the live feeds at night, other than some, I've actually seen some Vegas vloggers who purposely go to like, will wait for a stretch where there's no people, and then they'll like dramatize it. Oh my God, is Vegas ever gonna come? If you just normally walk down the Strip right now, it's packed.
Oh yeah.
In fact, I tried booking. We're so busy trying to get ready for the new space. I live kind of far, a little bit far. And I tried booking a room. The first 3 hotels I ran across, even one of them that we have quite a bit of juice at, no rooms, all sold out. Wow. Everything is sold out, which kind of weird because I thought they were limited in terms of the number of rooms they could rent. But anyways, it's who are we to judge?
Yes.
But so conventions, if you're a business on the convention list, you better be booking for September already, because you're going to be we know of quite a few hotels already are at what they believe might be the limit. Hopefully we open up to 100%. Convention centers are going to wait a second. The convention center, but interestingly, they think about this. Vegas took the last 9 months. We talked about this last week, building up all this infrastructure, getting itself ready.
Yes.
No one slowed down. Resorts moved ahead. Circa opened.
Oh, yeah.
Convention center built out their whole thing. The Boring Company built their big hole under the ground, right?
Yes.
I mean, so we're ready. In fact, if you talk to a lot of the experts dealing with Vegas, they're mentioning how Las Vegas is quite literally right now poised to be the #1 destination if you're a business, if you're looking for if you're an adult looking to travel with your family. We're not the theme park we used to be, and that's been on purpose. You know, we don't have circuses up and down the Strip kind of thing, but we're still circus. But anyways, all right. So next up, we got to mention that what was one of the other articles that we had besides the traffic and shows? What other link did I send you?
Contactless booking.
Oh. Yeah, so let's so resorts is and this is really rolling out all over the place. So what do you think about this one? All the new tech. So this is Resort World, as you well know.
Yes.
And now they have a contactless booking system. So once you're in the hotel, you can book everything else on your phone that you want to do throughout the resort.
Okay.
You want to see
Okay.
You want to see a show, you want to reserve a cabana, whatever you want to do, you don't have to call or talk to anybody. You can just
the best.
pull it up on your phone and whack it.
That's the best.
What
I
do you
really
think?
think so.
You like it?
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
And I know from working at the mall, when I pull out to leave and the Knights are playing, it's right there on the side of their building.
I know.
They're showing the game right
Yeah.
there. That's I was impressed by that.
Now, there's no volume yet.
No, but
is there going to
still.
be volume?
I don't know.
Can you imagine? We saw the Golden Knights. We saw the show right on the flipping building.
Yes.
You think a lot of people would just sit there and watch the?
I think so. I think
show?
yes. Why not? It's a giant screen.
Yeah, it is a
Everyone
giant
wants
screen.
bigger and better. Like the Circus Sportsbook, people go there to see the giant screens.
Yeah.
I was impressed by that. I really was.
Yeah, the definition as circa is fantastic.
Oh,
that sports
without a
book is quite something. All right, so resorts are contactless. I think a lot of places are going to move to that model. I know already, even that like Aria has, you can access your room with your phone.
Yes.
They have a lot of contactless features. My guess is that it's just as easy to include this now and to move on. All right. The next most logical story, by the way, is what's your favorite game to play, dude? Just let them know. Just let them all know.
It starts with a K and it ends with an Eno. Keno.
Yeah.
It's all about the Keno now.
Because there's so many haters out there.
Yes.
We got to let all the haters know. David's up about $3,000 so far this 2 weeks. We're putting together the videos.
Okay.
We're tying them together. I'm going to narrate them.
Okay.
And we hit some yesterday at the Strat too, by the way. Yeah, we had a fantastic time. I took a complete utter novice with me, someone who really never played, knew nothing about Keno,
Right.
and made him an expert in like 8 seconds.
That's all it takes. That's all it takes, folks. It's the easiest game in the world. Trust me.
And everyone always asks, like, why are we playing Keno? Like, okay, our favorite table game is dice.
Yes.
Because we're dice dealers.
Yes.
You kind of like, that's just, unless, I know some dice dealers who like SR or Baccarat, but most of us, you can't help but like dice, especially if you're in it for a while. But Keno is like, it's a vacation for your brain.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Pick the numbers, autoplay. That's all you need.
Yeah, that's right.
Or you can press the button every time if you like. Some people like to press the button
I like
every
to
time.
press the button. The autoplay, because then I really do fall asleep. If I autoplay, sometimes I don't even wake up. I've actually just nodded off and been like, you know what I mean?
Right.
At least the play keeps me in motion a little bit. In fact, Dottie's doesn't even have autoplay.
Oh, wow.
They're missing
Dottie's.
out. Yeah, Dottie's. Yeah, I know.
I always swore I'd never go to a Dottie's.
You don't go to a Dottie's?
I've been there.
Yeah,
I don't know why. I always look down on them. But
really?
Yes.
Wow.
I'm like, that's a special level of gambling, but I'm there.
Let's
I got
thank
my
Judy.
card.
Thank you. Yep. Thank you so much for that $5 super
Thank you,
chat.
Judy.
Yes. So he has to load up the comments because we don't have that high-tech Apple stuff. So
Yet.
believe it or not, on other platforms, they have where you can kind of roll the chats out. It's kind of cool.
Okay.
We don't have that yet. Until we move to the new space, then we'll have some new tech. We'll have some new people helping us. But just so everybody knows, we're adding 3 more shows a week at Casino Quest. We're going to add a Friday early afternoon show.
Okay.
We're going to have Wednesday. This show is going to be moved earlier. And then we're going to also have a Tuesday. We haven't figured out Tuesday or Thursday, but it basically guarantees me and Alex are going to be at that space at least 4 days a week.
Oh, wow.
We have this Vegas Influencers show. It's going to be on Friday. And I have confirmed that we are going to have a celebrity on the show.
Oh, wow.
And I don't know how much I can reveal just yet, but basically, let's just say there was a company that put out a movie that became a big hit movie, and one of the people that doing another movie about is going to be on our channel, and I'm going to be the first, not me, but Scott Morrow and myself.
Okay.
We're going to have her. It's a her. I could say that because she has been confirmed for the 26th, by the way. It's Friday the 26th, and I got a friend of mine just texting away, dude. You get one of these watches and it's like, bzzz, you just can't ignore it for too long. So Fridays we're gonna, and then beyond that, we're gonna have casino managers or VPs or dealers like yourself. I mean, it's gonna be all about Vegas casino, and focusing on sort of the positive elements of the gaming business, that kind of thing, because we're all about the positives. Okay. So let's move on, because we're going to dedicate most of it, because we have most of our fans, I think, are more excited the fact that about the stories.
Okay.
And about the career. We have a lot of people that really zoom in on those things, dude.
Okay.
I mean, and the fact that me and you literally work together, Lauren, by the way, I worked with Lauren, but I didn't really know Lauren.
Yeah.
You I knew, because we both worked in dice. We worked on swing shift.
Yep.
We have a lot of friends. I wouldn't say a lot, but we have several friends who have since passed on. That over the years, of course, so it goes. All right, so next up is your game. I want share with everybody your favorite craps strategy.
Oh, without a doubt, I think my favorite crap strategy is, and even though I've been doing this 30 years, I've known the Iron Cross. Everybody knows Iron Cross, but now I've learned about the Iron Cross, which I think the best play is Iron Cross into the double tap, into the triple Lutz.
If you have a catch a roll.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if you catch a roll, and this is something I teach at the mall, everyone likes something different. And I'm like, if you're playing and you play this way, one into the other, into the third, you're going to win more money than anybody at the table.
Yeah.
And not that it's a competition, but it is.
Yeah.
But it is.
It is a competition. It's a competition between you and your wallet, sir. Okay.
Yes.
It's a personal best type of thing. You know what I mean?
It's a never-ending battle.
It is a never-ending. Now, obviously, if you so over the course, because that strategy, for those of you who know, Iron Cross, you win on everything but the 7, because you have 5, 6, 8 in the field, so any number but the 7, and the double tap allows you to sort of power press, regress, and collect. So it's a little bit at first you play conservatively, so you can stay in the game, and then boom, you create opportunity for yourself. And we're going to get to the stories that we're going to share. One of our worst players, that we both have memories of that one, and some of the things that we experienced at the Rio together, and some of the stories that we have. We'll get over that. And of course, Dennis, are we stacking up the getting the AMAs ready? We have tons of questions coming. Okay. My favorite strategy by far is Triple Lux.
Right.
And I just because even with Keno, believe it or not, I no longer grind away with Keno. I used to sit down, play my money, find a nice little whatever the denomination. If I came in $20, I was doing 20 cents, kind of thing.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that I could sit there and just relax and get some free. Now, I typically buy it for $100. I'm in, mostly quarters,
Okay.
and I go for the jugular.
Right.
I'm in and out. I'm either in. I might be out 20 minutes, or I'm gonna hit something,
Okay.
and then I play on. The other thing, my other real key strategy is money management.
Yes.
You know?
100%.
Right. So when we were at the Strat the other day, we won, and of course, so we won. I can't say we won. I'll give it away because they haven't seen the video yet.
Oh.
They're
gotta be
still waiting.
surprised. Yes.
It's still queued up. No, who knows?
It'll be there.
It'll be there. So I create sort of thresholds. So once I win X amount of money, I create a threshold so that I know when I'll walk with. I try not to go back into that money.
Okay.
Because people will say, listen, I was only in 20, I won 1,000. But once you're up 1,000, that's your money,
Okay.
right? So now I just pick a tier to kind of replay or go buy back in for, and then what do you do? How do you just go all in or?
No, I have an absolute system for playing.
Mm-hmm.
I play a 4-card, and my first numbers I put are my twins' birthdays. 11. I'm not going to say because I don't want you to open credit cards in their names, but it's my twin girl's birthday, and then my son's birthday, and then an ex-girlfriend's birthday, and all those numbers, 2 of them overlap. So I have 3 spots and a 7 spot. So I put my $20 in, and I'll play 25 cents a card. If I get above $20, I go to 50 cents a card.
Yeah.
Every 20 I go up, I go up. So once I'm above $60 in the bank,
Genius.
now I'm playing $1 a card. Some
Okay.
places let you play $2 a card.
Yeah.
If you hit a $7 spot, that's $7,000.
$7,000. Yeah.
And I'm not going to say every time I've hit it, but when I've hit for that, it started out as a $20 bill.
Wow.
That I just started winning and progressing. My OCD mind works that way.
Yeah.
And once I get below 20, I'm back to 1 credit a card.
Yeah, I do the same thing. I
Right.
do the same type of progression, and then I work my way back.
Exactly.
And depending upon what my buy-in, that's what I start as my buy. Whatever that starting bid is.
Yeah, me too.
I don't go below that, even if there's an option.
Yes.
If I start at 25 cents and I can still play 5 cents, it's to me there's just no sense at that point.
Yes.
You know what I mean? All right, so that's fantastic, sir. So let me say this. So how long have you been a dealer? So you've been a dealer now for how long? 30 years? 31 years?
This is my 31st year.
Yes, because it's been 30 years. Yeah, you started a year before me. Wow. Very interesting. So let me, do you miss the bird game at all?
I miss the excitement. I miss the new stuff. I miss seeing things for the first time, or someone taught me something, and the first time I'm able to do that specific move, and I do it correctly. Because there's people that deal dice, and there are dice dealers. And there's not that many dice dealers. There's not that many dice games like we used to deal anymore. People just don't play like that. It's more of a grind now.
Yeah, it's a total grind.
So every now and then I'll get a good game, an exciting game, and I get a rush on dealing it because I deal it correctly.
Yeah.
I don't take so many shortcuts anymore, but still, I truly enjoy doing that.
It's I get asked that a lot as far as like the action has changed. So back in the day, like the Rio had 12 tables, 11 tables, 12 tables, something like this.
It was 12.
12 tables. And they would just be nonstop. And they were $5 to $25 some cases, and you had people playing at a higher level. So like at a Gold Coast, you'd have someone buying for $100, get a rainbow of checks, get all sorts of colors, and they were there to play. They could pound. I mean, $100 you can, especially if you had dollars, quarters, red, you could really work, $8 across, a power press, and come bets down without. There's a lot of things that you can do with that money. When then you just have $100 in all red, there's less you can do with that. There's less options available to you. It goes a lot faster. But amazingly, at the Rio, we had such an eclectic group of players. You would have one guy in, 50,000, another guy in 500, some guy in 100. You had all this different play going on, and you would just see just all this. It was the last place for me that I ever saw any real aggressive, where you could be bent over all day long on a $25 game even. Yes. We had a $100 table that went to a $500 game on the cap game, and we had Aria, and that sports agent guy, and we had these two Asian guys. I haven't shared this story for a while, but I don't know if you know this story, but I'm gonna share it. I'm gonna share it real quick, kind of a little segue, and then you can chime in because you know about Aria and some of these guys. And so we had 100. So the cap game was the furthest game from like where the elevators were. You know, going out from the pit. That end table. That's where they used to have the high limit game, $2,500. That used to be the higher limit game. So I go there one night and it starts at $100 game. And normally you actually even on the weekend sometimes the table would sit kind of dead. You might have one or two people because $100 table is 500 outside, 800 across. Believe it or not, a lot of you guys that like to play, it's not 640. You don't see a lot of guys play like 520. 540. When you get to a $100 game, they play 800, 500. We got an ambulance waiting outside for you, buddy. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Okay. Because those types of players at that black level, $100 game, they don't want to see all the red. So they play in context. So they'll put 125 on the 5. They're not just 100. $100 5 obviously 140. 125 is going to pay 175, and then it presses to 250. And then a lot of some will go to 375, or they'll go to 500. I mean, that's the type of action they play. So it's just an increment over 25, right? So it's just adding a zero. Because I know that a lot of people think that if you have a $100 game, you're gonna get like 540 across. Are you okay, buddy? You need a tissue.
Very rarely. I know. It's like
I know. Just
it's the excitement of being on TV again.
I know. But anyways, different game. All right, so I'm on that cap game one day, and we have this little Asian guy. He's sitting at a slot machine, the very first slot machine. I don't remember what kind of slot machine it is, but if you look right in front of second base. I actually started. I was on third base that day. So this guy, he's at the slot machine, and he stops, and he starts moving his chair over to the table, and it's a $100 table, and then he throws into the table a $5 check. Now it's an Asian guy. He doesn't speak any English, and the dealer that's there says, sir, it's a $100 game, and the guy just doesn't. He doesn't care. He just keeps walking up, turns the chair around because he pulled it from the slot machine. Now turns it around. He sits on the chair, and he's a little Asian guy. And he just sits there, and the dealer's like, we have a boxman in the game, and I believe the boxman was Frank.
Wow.
I actually believe the box at the time.
Frank.
I think he was still sitting box before he was. I know at some point they put him mostly on the floor, but I think he was sitting box. And they were trying to explain to the guy, listen. It's a $100 table. You can't come in $5, and plus you got a chair.
Yeah.
How rude is this? They didn't let you sit like that. You know what I mean? At the Rio that day, here you are. You're throwing a $5 check, and you're pulling up a chair. All right. So next thing you know, I got Ira come up to the game.
Of course.
I have Ira come up to the game, and he throws down just $500. But it's Ira. You know that he might be in some more. So that's fine. So we're gonna see. And Ira gets irate. He right away he's like, "What's this guy over here with $5? What are we holding up the game for this guy? What's going on here? I gotta get." You know how Ira was.
I hear my Ira right now. It's making me twitch a little bit.
Yeah, this guy was a Caesar's Palace dealer, and he would stroke the hell out of us. Just so you know, he was crazy. So we're still trying to figure out what the hell's going on with this Chinese guy because we're trying to go up. An Asian host comes up behind him. Another Asian guy comes up behind a taller guy. And we knew him from, I don't know whether I knew him from a pre-shift or something like this, but he had a $300,000 credit line.
Okay.
And even though he wasn't known to play dice, I knew his face.
Right.
I had never dealt to him before, but I knew that he was, he played a lot of Baccarat, he played whatever. Sometime I remember seeing him in like the high limit. You know how when they had those curtains, you could see him back in that area, right?
Yep.
Behind the bar.
The fishbowl.
The hookah bar?
Yeah. Slutters.
We gotta tell you stories about the bar, dude.
Yes.
Oh, we used to make bets on that bar action, dude. You could watch it if you were on those games, sitting out from the bar. You would see these girls working those guys at the bar, man, and you just wondered like what the cost was. I actually found out $1,000 to go up the elevator, dude. $1,000. I had a girl tell me $1,000 to go up the elevator. She said straight up. Like no delay, nothing. $1,000 to go at the end. I was like, good for you.
We had
$1,000.
one of they were called Ipanema girls back then.
Oh yeah, the Ipanema girls. Yes.
She got fired from working in Slutters, because two guys come up to her and asked her where the prostitutes were, and she said, "There,
right this way, sir."
right there.
Yeah, because they're real. Entertain them.
Right.
They didn't run them up.
The guy said, "So all of them?" She said, "Yes, all of them." Those two, yes, those two were high limit wives. They did not take being approached very lightly. That was her last shift.
Oh, really? I believe it. Those Ipanema girls. I knew. All right, we're gonna have a lot of great stories, but I gotta start with this one. If you guys indulge me a little bit. All right, so because Troy will have some context. All right, so the guy, the little Asian guy, is still sitting there in the chair. Ira's now irate because he's in all of $500. Ira had a $50,000 line though, so you knew he could play if he wanted to. And this other Asian guy comes up, and he's telling the dealer it's going to be okay. He's like, yeah, don't worry about it. It's going to be okay, because the dealer's like, listen, we can't have this guy sitting here on a chair. He's only in $5. And maybe you'll know this guy. And then one of the hosts comes up and says, it's Mr. His $3 million credit line, which from my understanding was the most you could ever you could have at the Rio at the time, right? Wasn't it? It was $3 million, I think.
I believe so, yeah.
And this guy, literally, the $5 guy had a $3 million credit line and fired up that game, dude. I mean, literally, we had that's the game where what's his name harassed me. We don't need to mention his name.
I know who.
Yep. So I'm on third base, and at the Rio, you would stay on the same base. You'd work the same base all day. You do 20 minutes on the pole, 40 minutes on base. And for the next 8 hours, we called up a hands like you would not believe on $100. Actually, the table went to $500.
Of course.
So once that guy come up, Ira tried to keep the. So what happened with Ira is he wouldn't buy in while that guy was there, right? If he'd have bought in for $100, we'd have had to grandfather him. Right? But because he waited, he was such an ass. This guy started the game at $500, and now Ira had to play at $500, which he didn't like. He wasn't really. He was a $100 player, $500 not so much. But so the rumor is, I don't know how much we dumped, but we had to refill that game like 4 times, dude, in that shift. So I've heard $4 million. I thought it was more. When I talked to, I was good friends with Frank back in the day, and I thought it was more than that, but I'm not exactly sure. But a $500 game, and it was just the hottest table all day long, dude. I had 4 people on my side. There were 4 people on each base playing $500, and because there was so much excitement. Even the guys that maybe at other tables were drawn, but we had Ira, that sports agent, who we couldn't figure out.
I can't remember his name. I can't. I'll find somebody, because I still have contact with a lot of old Rio dealers. Yeah. Somebody has to know.
And he would have I think $200,000 line, something like this, and then those Asian guys and some other people would pop in. But sometime in that game, I heard that pit boss, he was speaking in my ear. He was going, "So you think you're so hot?" Because it was double box and double pit. I mean, I had to cut out all the yellows. They had to cut up all the yellows before and get approval before I was handing them off. I mean, it was all this nonsense, dude. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It shouldn't have been like that.
No.
Not at that level we were at the time. And
right?
I remember that happening. I remember no one really wanted to talk about it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get information, and I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot of hush-hush stuff going on.
No, it was a weird, I don't know. So a place like Aria, I've watched some videos of Aria dealers, and you guys just whack it. It's 5,000. It's 5,000. 5 yellows. You just, it is what it is. You don't have to go through all this nonsense, right?
No, not at all.
Somebody bets a $5,000 placement. What are the limits at Aria?
5,000.
5,000.
There's certain players that get double limits, like any other casino, but those are few and far between.
Yeah.
The last big game I dealt there, to me, was rather boring because it was just $1,000 chips, and it was nothing, like you said. It was nothing extraordinary. It was like betting a $30 six or a $3,000 six.
Yeah.
$35, $3,500.
Yeah, same thing. And you just cut it out and hand it off, like you should.
Yes.
Without all this other,
And dealing to just one player, to me, is boring.
Yeah.
I want 5 or 6 players like that. I want place bets. I want come bets. I want mix it all up, bring it out, challenge how good I think I am, and see if I still am or not. But
So do you when you were at the Rio, did you do anything but dice? Did you end up anywhere else?
After Harrah's bought us, a couple years in, they said no more dealing dice 5 days a week.
Oh.
Now you can only deal it 3 days a week.
Oh.
You need to deal other games. And to Harrah's credit, at first we hated it, but then we realized it was a break. We got to go into the carnival pit and learn 3-card poker. Or learn different games. I went to a dealing school where you had to learn blackjack, craps, and roulette. I had never dealt anything but craps. I said, let me see if I can still do roulette. Next thing you know, I picked up roulette. I would deal craps 3 days a week. I'd do roulette 2 days a week.
Yeah.
Some days I'd go in the carnival pit.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it more. It
That's
was
probably a
break
good
from
thing,
dice.
by the way.
It was.
Because you need all those games. At Aria, they want you to be a multi-game.
Yes, now they want it.
Yeah,
now
all the
they want
casinos want it.
Yes.
We're having everybody here start with blackjack, roulette, and Baccarat at the bare minimum, or add dice if you can.
Right.
Every one of our casino partners, people we work with, the job placement, if you're going to break in now, you really need 3 games.
Yes.
They want you to have at least 2 main games and some carnival, or 3 main games. Dice is still big, by the way.
And I think I've talked to people about how the school is ran here, what I know of it, and I think it's a really good thing how you start them in blackjack.
Yeah.
One of the easier games, but you introduce them to the cards, you introduce them to handling checks,
Yep.
and then they move on to the harder games.
That's it.
Whatever it is.
Because you learn, blackjack, you learn a lot of game protection, manage your rack, all the things that are sort of critical, and then it's easier to pick up the other games. Even dice. The thing that's different for us is the way you cut down checks is a little different. You know what I mean?
Yes.
There are some casinos, they have different protocols for, some casinos bridge, some splash, this kind of thing. But for the most part, yeah, so you learn all the basics. Blackjack is, sort of a key critical infrastructure game. Yep. Hey, I should put it out there, and we're going to be posting a lot more. We have jobs in other states. In fact, we are entering into a relationship here real soon with some casinos out of market. So for those of you interested in dealing out of market, just contact us wherever you are. It doesn't matter if you're not in Vegas, but you happen to be a dealer or you're learning to be a dealer, please let us know and email us. And you can email us at info@cegdealers.com or info@cegdealerschool.com. So what we're doing right now is we're developing a program where you plug into either our school here or we have our online academy. It's being revamped, so it's being improved. We took all the feedback from our Patreons, our Discord community, and a few people that plugged in. And Alex and Lauren have been out in LA for the last 3 days. And we're upgrading that entire academy.
Oh, wow.
So if you bought into the academy, by the way, just know it's a lifetime thing. So whenever you want to join the academy, you can join the academy. It's casinoquest.skilltrain.com. And from there, you can become a dealer. And if you're in, wherever you're at, we have access to jobs all over the country through some of our partners, Florida, Louisiana, Colorado. And by the way, there's a lot of these out-of-market casinos make fantastic tokes.
Yes.
Locals tip.
Yes.
Because they're locals. That's your might be your neighbor right there dealing to you.
Yep.
And Blackhawk has always been a great place to work. The toke right there is fantastic. 30 plus.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I was like, that's pretty good.
Yeah, no kidding.
I mean,
damn.
Even better before. There's a little more competition. So thank you, California. Judy can't be the only one. Thank you.
Thank you, California Craps Club.
There you go. We're up to 10. Fantastic. All right. So if you are interested, so the program that we have right now is you plug into the school, or you start online. You either come to us here, and then you can go to another location. God, I have amazing call coming in right now.
Oh, really?
I do. Can I say who it's from? It's from the Wall Street Journal, just so you know.
You just said it.
I just did it. I just said it. And I really want to answer it, but I'll call her back and I'll get that thing.
You have a good excuse.
Let's just say the CEG Dealer School, just stay tuned.
Yes.
Yeah, stay tuned. I can't believe I actually, hopefully it'll go to voicemail and we'll have something because I'm guessing it's for print.
Nice.
Soon, just so you know.
Yeah.
We have a fantastic community, dude. You have no idea. And we are so excited for everything.
Right.
We have, now that Vegas is coming out, we have a lot of programs. I know there's a lot of me talking here, but I guess we'll get to the AMAs and I'm going to let you handle it.
Right.
But can we take like a break? No. An interlude? No, we can't, right? Middle of a live stream. Holy
you want
smokes,
to.
I know. No.
could answer some questions.
You want to answer some questions?
Sure, I can answer
All right,
questions.
ready? Troy, give Troy some questions because this is too big. I gotta give me
not?
3 minutes.
But I do have a question for you, Dennis. Am I fully in screen?
Yes. See what you see on the screen right here?
But it looks like I'm cut off on the screen.
You can scooch a little over if you want.
Closer to Dave. There we go.
I got a question for you. I'm trying to find yours.
Okay. I do know quite a few things about quite a few things.
Just read the question out.
Yes. Principal Skinner wants to know who was the favorite person you ever dealt to you personally? Oh, the favorite person I've ever dealt to. I, believe it or not, I dealt one night to Nicolas Cage for 2 hours without realizing it. I was dealing craps at the Rio. He was right next to me on the base, and he had his hat pulled down over his head, and he was just quiet. I tried talking to him a few times, and he would answer, but he was just one of those players that just didn't want to talk. All of a sudden, a player standing next to the stickman goes, "Hey, I know you." And he looked up and just shook his head, and he goes, "I know you. You're Nicolas Cage." And I looked at him, and I realized, sure enough, that was Nicolas Cage. Then the guy started yelling, "Hey, everybody, I'm playing dice with Nicky Cage over here." So, of course, Mr. Cage goes, "I got to go." And he colored up his chips, and he left. And tipped us. You know, it was a nice little tip. But for the 2-3 hours I dealt to him, I had no idea it was him. He was just trying to play dice and just have a good time.
And then we got the super chat. So, Robert Barnes, thank you for the $10.
Thank you, Robert Barnes.
It's okay, you don't have to wear a tux.
Yet, one day we will have everybody wearing tuxes.
It's for the opening party, I think.
Oh, okay. For the mall.
CQ's
Oh.
new. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Someone asked, I can't find it right now, but they're asking if they book a 30 roll. Do you deal to them?
I deal to them. David could deal to you. I've done both. I enjoy doing them. I think it's a lot of fun. We've yet to have anyone break the $1,000 mark. Tonight we had a guy roll for 25 rolls, but then 7 out. So he kept playing 0.7, 0.7. So there went most of his money.
There you go. I found the question.
Nice.
At the end of it.
Yep. I would definitely deal it. You can request us if our schedules match up, because I'm usually here or at the mall. I have no problem doing it. I enjoy doing it. But every time I've done it, I hear a voice in the back of my head, and he knows who he is. No dead air. Keep talking. It's kind of hard sometimes because you get the dice setters, and they take a minute to set the dice. But I enjoy doing them. I want to see someone really come out with a great roll. What is my biggest win playing? Playing at a local casino, the Red Rock. I guess I can give a little plug here. It wasn't even a 20-minute hand. I won $6,800. And I was poised to win a lot more when the 7 came. And that's just the way it broke down. And when I play, I deal 6 hours a night, even though we work 8-hour shifts. We get a lot of breaks. When I go to gamble, I don't want to spend a lot of time at the table. I don't want to sit there and grind, so I go right for the throat. I happen to catch the right person at the right time, and I made a nice little score. You can make more. You can make a lot more, especially now. Had I been playing the systems I've now learned here, besides Iron Cross, which is what I had used at that time, with the new systems I've learned here because of David, I'm going to win more next time I catch a big hand. And that's what we want all of you out there to do too. We want you to win that money. Most casinos, the bigger casinos, Aria, the Bellagio, the Cosmopolitan, you cannot win enough money for me to get in trouble. If I'm dealing a legit game and you win however much money, more power to you. Casino loves winners, believe it or not.
There you go. Another super chat.
Oh, what, 2 pounds?
2 pounds, yep.
We'll take the 2 pounds. We appreciate it all. Thank you, Joey 501. We can answer all the questions they have. If I don't have an answer, I'll make one up. No, that wouldn't be a good move. But I should know all the answers. Did the guy see that $1 million win on a Monopoly slot? Oh, I didn't see that. Really? Wow. That's always a great thing. It's great for the company where it hits because it's advertising. They like to put it out there. Hey, look, someone won $1 million playing over here at our casino. Come give it a try. Why not? You just never know. You're walking by a slot machine, throw a few dollars in, see what happens. Someone has to win it. That's the way I see it. The Mega Bucks, all those, Quarter Mania.
This is a question for me, I guess.
Oh, wow. Look at Dennis getting a question.
That's a good question. So Robert Barnes asked, my first question is to Sticky Dennis. When you become of age, what game are you looking forward to playing the most, if any? I think this is a pretty obvious answer. It's craps. I get to play it here at the school or at Casino Quest. Blackjack, doesn't really catch my interest. Roulette is kind of slow for me. Baccarat's the same thing. Craps just feels like a lot more fun. There's a lot more dynamic. It's also like a social thing. Even here at the school, you just have everyone just like, throwing checks, do this, do that. And then everyone's cheering or awing, you know what I mean? Especially when you get a good roll in. I love it in Casino Quest. It's one of my favorite things when they get a good roll and everyone's just screaming.
Yes. It's the most social game, and most people playing craps all win together.
That's true.
Yes.
Because you're
Blackjack,
you're not playing against the dealer.
Right. Yep.
And what? Like one of my favorite moments, especially in craps, was in Casino Quest. Someone hit the all tall small.
Oh wow.
And we just all we all had a moment. We just screaming like, yes finally, because he's been trying to hit this all tall small all day.
Yep.
So I would say craps. If anything, a second would probably be like Blackjack, just because it's one of those.
Yes.
It'd be fun to play, but I would play it for maybe 10 minutes and move on.
It's Blackjack's a whole different game compared to craps.
How about you? What was your favorite?
By far craps.
Craps?
If not craps, roulette.
What were you excited for when you first started?
What I was excited for when I first started was a harder game. A game where I felt my skills were really challenged and I was able to overcome it and deal a good game.
Oh, okay.
Yes. That to me, it was a personal accomplishment. I felt more secure in my game because when you first get on the game, if you ever see brand new dealers and they're on the stick and that stick is doing this, it's nerves.
Yeah.
It's nerves because the stick man controls the game. They are in charge of everything and everybody's looking at them. Now they got to push 5 dice out there. If you think it's easy, come by the school and try and push 5 dice with that little flippy stick that's all crooked and everything, and you're doing this, trying your best to get it out there. That and spinning a roulette ball are the 2 hardest physical parts of being a casino dealer.
Anyways.
You know what's interesting? Most people think the stick is easy. Most people think the stick, it's an afterthought. We have a lot of dealers who learn the game, and then they don't even work on the stick. Nope. And then they don't realize that pushing those 2 little dice are a lot of things. Okay, I just got to put this out there. Tomorrow morning, our story hits the Wall Street Journal.
That's awesome.
Tomorrow morning in digital. So if you happen to have a subscription to the Wall Street Journal, or you don't, go get one. And at Friday's paper.
Okay.
So if you have the print, if you get the print, and it's not just a story about us and my story and Alex. It's about sort of the return of Vegas, and the adaptability. Vegas is the ultimate pivot, and Vegas learns to adapt. And our story, me and Alex specifically, and I think all dealers really, you got to learn to adapt.
Yes. Yes.
Because it really does. Yes. Everything changes. The casino that you're working at one day is on top, and then it's not so much.
Yes.
Or you're smoking way too much weed in the parking lot.
Yes. Not that that's ever happened to any of us. But
no. We've got great stories about. We had one story about. I was at Texas Station, and one of the dealers we got hired there, he would smoke in his car right by security before he went to work. And I mean, not so genius. And of course, and then on breaks, there was a break area for dealers. He would go behind this wall and smoke. You know what I mean? In the break area. Right. And this is before pot was legal. And so he gets laid off. And but luckily he had a second job, but they pinched him for the marijuana there. You can't really get pinched for marijuana. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Thomas.
Yeah. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. Yes. Did I mention the Wall Street Journal thing? Get out there. I was asking Catherine, by the way, she wrote this fantastic story. And if Alex, if you're out there, we just got off the phone. It's going live tomorrow morning. He's out there. He's got to be watching, unless they're still filming. But I'm going to go get a subscription real quick.
There you go.
It's still $1 for the first trial.
Why not?
I mean, you know what I mean?
Yes.
I love the Wall Street Journal. I've been reading my grandfather was the first person to show me the journal. Now I was 9 years old. And he's like, read this. It's going to change your life. Literally, put the Wall Street Journal. Read this. Going to change your life. And I was looking for the cartoons. You know, like there was nothing here that could. It was all numbers.
Yeah, you're 9. I mean,
I'm 9, right? And of course, years later, it became kind of a thing. Even though I never graduated college, and I literally have a GED from my high school. I used to be so embarrassed about that, by the way.
No reason.
And I'm military. I was 11 Bravo. I was nothing special. I wouldn't say nothing special. Every 11 Bravo is something special. That's the thing. But I was a Secret Service agent, James Bond, killing machine.
Yes.
I was infantry. I was a grunt. I put on my ruck and
off you went.
And off I went. I ran into a guy at the gym the other day. And I asked him. He wears combat boots and all this other stuff. And I'm like, what do you do in the military? And he's like, shh. I can't tell you. I can't tell you. And I'm like, wow, good for you, buddy.
Yeah.
Good. What's wrong with being 11 Bravo? There's nothing wrong with that. You serve and you do honor to yourself. But anyways, so there's that. All right. So yeah, the stick, dice.
Yes, that is, like I said, the hardest thing to do. And like I said, when you're first doing that and you have 6, 7, 8 people on each end and everybody's looking at you. Everybody's watching you fumble the dice, trying to get them out there, doing your best not to shake too much, because it's really not that hard of a thing to do once you practice, like anything else.
Yep.
I tell my students, you come in here and you put in the time, we will make you a dealer.
Yep.
If you want to show up, hang out for an hour on Monday and come back on Thursday,
I'm going to put this out there a little bit, only because, and I don't mean to put this out there in a bad way. We have had hundreds of people go through dice, and I have actually only one person ever that I think was not going to be a dice dealer. And he is a dice dealer. He knows who he is. He's at the Gold Coast. I won't name his name, but I met him, and I just thought he was going through it. It was tough for him. And then all of a sudden, I came here to this. Well, it wasn't at this location. We had 2 other locations, and he's at the Gold Coast. He's pushing checks now. He didn't just go. Right. He didn't go somewhere to like chill out. He went somewhere to actually become a dice dealer.
Yep.
We had someone not too long ago who got hired at a really great casino, and they quit that casino because they wanted more action. It was when I say great casino, it was like a mid-tier casino, but that they stood dead a lot, but they still made some decent money, right?
Okay.
He would rather work. He went to the Gold Coast because the Gold Coast. You're gonna push checks. You're gonna deal cards, push checks. You're gonna deal with lots of stuff.
Yep.
And some people want it easy, but some people want to learn and become a master of their game. And he has since now accepted a much bigger job.
Okay.
I was amazed. He's push. But anyways, very recently we have an older gentleman who's been learning dice, and he's come to me. I wouldn't say a few times, but we've talked about his future, and he's learning it. And some of the students have made not negative comments, but just said, listen, it's not so easy, a little tougher for this person, and I think he knows who it is. But I never that's never a thing for me.
No,
because I know that eventually some people take a little longer, granted, but eventually if you want to be a dice dealer, you could be a dice dealer.
You put in your time. And it says, thanks, Troy, for the help with the crap systems when I was out a couple weeks ago. It was great meeting you. Can you both share your favorite strategy?
Yes.
Thank you, Jerry.
Yes. Favorite strategy. Yeah, because he probably just tuned in. Favorite strategy. Go right ahead, sir. Hit it up.
Iron cross to the double tap to, I call it triple Lutz.
Triple Lutz?
Yes. From ice skating. the triple Lutz.
Yeah, that's what it is. Because at that point, you're a little crazy.
Yes.
Yeah, you know what's interesting? She asked me, so one of the questions they asked me is how I got started on dice, and what made me want to be a dice dealer, right? And when I went to school, I learned blackjack and roulette first. I had only started dice. I was only 2 weeks into dice.
Oh, wow.
and they wanted to push me out, and there was some openings at the time, El Cortez and Gate, and they were like, well, just go, and But when I started dice, when I dealt blackjack, and this isn't for everybody. By the way, some people love blackjack, some people love roulette. Everybody's got their. Some people love dealing baccarat, which always scares the crap out of me.
Yeah.
I don't know that guy, but when I started with blackjack and roulette, I was like, oh crap, I'm not gonna be a dealer for long. I'm just gonna become a dealer, do this for a while, because there's jobs. And then I'm gonna do something else. But when I started learning craps, I was like, wow, this I can do. This guy can make a career out of this one. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I think for most of us that have been really focused on dice, that's really a thing. All right, so what else you got? You got more questions? I think he's already there. I think whether he's moving back. Oh, is Scott moving to Hawaii? So Scott Morrow is Professor Scott. He runs, he's a professor at the UNLV Hospitality Hall. He teaches gambling.
Right.
Do you know that this is a thing now, dude? Hospitality, Pat is going through this program where you can actually go to UNLV. You familiarize yourself with the games and the math and all those parts of business so you can go. He's now plugging in to, as a dealer. Some of them plugging in as interns with gaming-related companies. And Station Casino started this fantastic internship program. And it's a paid internship, $600 a week, plus you get a room. You get to stay there.
Wow.
If you intern at the Red Rock, get a room at Red Rock to hang out at.
Sign me up.
I know. So this is the thing. So Scott is moving to Hawaii. I think he's there. I think he's basically moved, and then every now and then he checks into Vegas.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But the goal is him and Karen. I mean, they're out. Who wouldn't want to be? He's got a beautiful place in Hawaii.
Life is rough for some people, I guess.
He was one of those. He was lucky, dude. Yeah. Have you heard of his jobs he's had? Oh my God! First of all, he starts in Atlantic City. Then he comes here, and his first job here in Vegas is the Golden Nugget, followed by the Mirage. He ends up dealing at. He was part of the opening crew at Aria.
He was my pit manager at Aria.
Yeah, at Aria. Yeah.
Dice. He ran dice.
He ran
when
dice.
He opened.
He opened up Red Rock, like literally the flagship of Station Casinos for the most part. Well, I guess Palms were going to take, but Red Rock was like their ace. It still is fantastic casino, by the way, if you haven't been. Although Palace is big now.
Palace is really caught up.
Palace is nice.
A lot of remodeling.
Oh my God, the place is nice. It's unbelievable. If you had been in there just 10 years ago,
oh my God,
to see it 10 years ago from today, you wouldn't know.
It's changed so much.
Even in the last couple of years, you got to go. It's quite something. But yeah, we love Scott. I love Scott. I love hearing his stories. And then he opened up MGM Macau, dude.
Yep.
Okay. Then he ran a casino in Singapore, Saipan. I mean, he's been all over. He's the guy, like literally the hands-on guy.
Yep.
So we love Scott. Adds a very nice mix to it. Okay. What else we got? Let's focus on the questions. Questions about the Aria. Details on the craps tables, weekend limits, odds, and bonus bets.
Like most casinos, it's a straight 3, 4, 5. The table minimums are 15, 25, and above. The bonus bets are the ATS, the all tall small, which I have a funny story about later on about the ATS thing.
Go ahead.
But yeah, they do have the ATS now, and I believe they now have. Have you heard of the ATS where it's a double hit?
No.
Yes, it's. I'm not sure because I'm still waiting to be called back, but I'll be back soon. Trust me. But they've changed the bet up a little bit, and people seem to enjoy it.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, good. There's a lot of bets. So I've seen the fire bet.
Yes.
I've dealt a fire bet. I had a lady once win it back to back on one table, moved to the other table, and hit it there, 6-pointer. She won $10,000 in one day, just like that.
Wow.
All she would do was shoot $5 on the line, $5 on a fire bet, and a 6 or 8. That's all she did.
Okay.
And she was fantastic. I loved seeing her. I mean, it was very simple play, not a lot going on there, but she was very nice. And all she ever wanted to do, she would only bet when the dice came around to her, put her bet on there, and boom, she was off and shooting. Wow. She only bet on herself.
Okay.
And hit that 10 out. So, but now they reduced that to the $299 because they don't want to pay the $300 and have people fill out the form. So a lot of places they pay $299, but now they pay for 3 hits.
Yes.
So 3 points as opposed to the 4 points, which I would rather the 1,000 and get paid on the 6 point.
Yes.
1,001,
I'd rather
right?
win 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, right?
Yep.
4, 5, 6.
Yes.
Get paid the big money. We don't want to get our money back. Like on Keno, we don't want to get our money back on zero. We want to get the double.
One more number.
Yeah.
That's a brand name for us. We need to start that. One more.
All right, what's your ATS story? Because
I'm dealing at Aria, and I'm on the stick, and a player throws me 3 red chips, and he says, ATS. Yes. He says, ATS. I said, yeah, that's me. What do you want? My initials are ATS. I had never heard it called all, tall, small like that.
Oh, really?
Yes. I thought he was addressing me, and I'm thinking, how does this guy know my initials? And what the hell is this $15?
That's your credit report.
Right. But that's what it was.
Really?
Yes, that's the first time I heard all, tall, small referred to it that way.
Oh, why? How did you always?
They always said all, tall, small.
All, tall, small.
I had never heard anyone bet ATS until him.
Wow. You're like, what? Who is this guy?
And how does he know me like that? Most people don't know my first name. David knows it.
I know it.
He's sworn to secrecy.
I have sworn to secrecy.
Yes.
It's fine. It's funny because I've only ever known you. I didn't know it until I had to like correct your check, sir.
Yeah, exactly. I don't tell people.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you. Keep that one a secret.
Exactly. Thanks, Dad, by the way.
Yeah, I really appreciate you. All right, what else you got? All right, wait for Dennis to put him up there. Ooh. All right, ready? Aria still count Dewey don't and all money bet on the table as average bet. And some of it got truncated. They always, what is that supposed to say?
They always did.
They always did. All right, so Dewey don't.
Do they count?
Aria
all the
still
money?
count Dewey don't and all money bet on the table as average bet. Oh, if you bet on both sides, do they count everything? No.
I think they're asking, do they count all of it on the pass line and the odds and the don't and the lay?
Okay.
Yeah. And the last I remember when I worked there last year before the shutdown, they only counted the flat bet.
Yeah.
And that's most places. They don't count the odds.
There's no Theo on the odds, so they don't count the odds.
Exactly.
Very few places that will give you some places will give you like a fractional credit, especially if you're at a place back in the day when you had a floor supervisor who just eyeballed your money, they may include it. But now with all the machines and all the NRT visual limits, they tend not to count it. It's much more exact.
And one piece of advice I always give to everyone that comes through the mall is when you start gambling, make sure you're using your player's card. Mm-hmm. Check your time when you start. When you're ready to leave, speak to that supervisor. Make sure they didn't close you out. That accidentally happens sometimes.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh, look, he left. Not realizing that person may have gone to the bathroom. That person may have changed spots. Mm-hmm. Find out, when did you have me start? What time is it now? What is my average bet? They may miss it because it isn't like before where you had one boxman on each dice game and you had one floorman for each dice game. You have these supervisors covering more than one game. Mm-hmm. So you may have got lost in the shuffle. Just check.
Yep.
It's your comp dollars. Just ask. And they could say, oh, yeah, we got you for 4 hours. This is your average bet. You agree, everybody's happy. You come back tomorrow because you have no credit of playing. Guess what? That dealer isn't there. That supervisor isn't there. You have no recourse.
Yeah, your SOL.
Yes.
A lot of people feel a little intimidated to ask, but ask. That's why they're there. The supervisors are used to it. They don't mind you asking, hey, what do you got me out as? That's what I just ask them, hey, what do you have me at? What's my average bet? That's usually all I care about. How much time and what's my average bet?
Yes.
Because that's what's going to translate into comps.
Yes.
And you can always ask. Sometimes the pit can give you comps out of the pit without them taking away from your points, depending upon where you play. So a lot of places will have a host that can give you kind of a perk without actually taking away from your points. Right. When I used to play at Station, when it was still points of the card, but if you had a host, if it was specific to the property. See, now it's all the properties. They've sort of changed that policy. So at Boulder Station, believe it or not, I was a big fish at Boulder Station. Just want to put that out there. For those of you who know Boulder Station, it wasn't hard to be a big fish at Boulder, but I used to get to go to the Boiler Room every now and then, which is a fantastic little place in there. Really good, great food. And it wasn't taken away from my points. It was just like, thank you, David, for being a good player. Penny player, by the way. Yeah, I was president, penny player.
Some of the biggest card-holding people at MGM and Caesars Entertainment are the penny slot players.
No, it's $3, dude.
Yes.
Come on now. I mean,
But
they call them penny players, but it's $3.
People think it's high-limit
you don't have to
5,000 a
be
hand.
pilot. No, it's just time in. Because I would play ridiculous amounts of time with those pennies, and so that's how I got there. So so I would ask, and I would get them off, and I would make sure to clarify this comp is a free comp, right?
Right.
Because if you don't clarify, then sometimes they'll just take it. I even had one time where my host turned it over to someone else, and then that person just automatically, as soon as coming off my points, and holy crap, did they take like all my points? The boiler room wasn't cheap.
No.
I had never paid for it. I didn't know how much it cost. I didn't realize it was that expensive. Boulder Station has a $100 restaurant. Who knew?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Of all the places in town.
Yeah. But boiler room is, I don't know if they still have it. It was fantastic food.
I don't know.
Yeah, steakhouse at Boulder. It was really good. All right. Moving on.
Interestingly,
What do we got?
Principal Skinner wants me to show you this article.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
Yep. Wow, 1 million at penny slots. So the article is tourist wins more than 1 million on penny slots at Plaza Hotel and Casino. Look at that. That's the Golden Gate. That's an older picture, by the way, even though it's on. Well, maybe not. I got a story.
Right there.
Yeah, there's some really high-paying, progressive jackpot penny machines, no doubt about it. But can I tell you a great story? I used to have Principal Skinner. Thank you, by the way. Principal Skinner is an old fan. He's been a fan with us for a long time. We love, we have a lot of great fans, dude. And I just want another shout out to Fast Willie. Thanks for coming out and saying hello, my friend.
Yes. I just thought I had to think about it. I remember Fast Willie.
Dude, we love Fast Willie. He's been with us like since the beginning.
Oh, wow.
He's been talking shit to us since the beginning too, by the
That's
way.
the best.
That guy's
That's the best. That's
you
a
hear
little dice
Fast
player.
Willie, he's like, you better get my money right. And he's like, yeah, no. So Plaza used to have these old Cleopatra penny machines that actually took real pennies. Wow. So I forgot how many pennies. I think up to 10 pennies. You had to literally feed the pennies. And if you hit something, it was one of these. They had them forever until just like 10 years ago. I think maybe they got rid of them. Maybe 15 years ago. It's probably been a while. But Alan Toy is one of our fans. He collects old pennies, a lot of copper pennies too. And I have gotten rare pennies out of those hoppers because those machines have been there for so long.
Oh, yeah.
You could go to nickel machines and get these old silver nickels. I've even gotten buffalo nickels out of the old nickel machines.
Yes.
One time I was at the Fremont playing a nickel machine, and I got several buffalo nickels while I was there.
Okay.
You got to go through it, though. You know what I mean? Now you can't do that. They got rid of all the hoppers, so there's not a thing. But the pennies, I missed that so much. So I would sit there with like a couple bucks, $3, whatever it was.
That's all you
Put
need.
in my pennies, pull my Cleopatra, and I could care less how much money. I was just going through the hopper, looking for rare pennies, and sometimes it paid off nice.
We used to have a dealer at the Rio. I'm not going to name names, but he would find silver $50
The
coins.
silver ones, they were $20 plus.
And he was able to come back later and buy them.
Yeah.
They would just randomly pop up from the cage on a fill, and all of a sudden.
By the way, for those of you who are silver stackers, there's a hidden. So the secret is, a lot of those 50-cent pieces are actually still in circulation. They're not used as often today, but a lot of vendors still have the rolls. So it used to be they don't really. A lot of banks won't sell them to individuals anymore. But it used to be you could go in and get a couple $100 worth of these 50-cent rolls, and then you go through them, and in the course of a couple days, you would find a few of these silver, and of course silver's up in price. So these are the silver ones are worth $20, something like this. But it's a lot of work to get to one $20. But anyways, all right, you got any more? Do we have any more questions? Anybody care?
Is anybody out there?
It's still getting a bunch.
Okay, good. Oh, absolutely. By the way, dude, I would love for you to do a video. Will you do a video of that cross to double to triple Lux?
Of course I will.
That's
I'd love to do
Chocodow's.
it.
Hi, Chocodow's, right?
Yes, definitely. I'll definitely do it.
We
Yes.
gotta. Oh, that'd be fantastic. We'll have Timmy get his little ass up here
There you go.
and film you.
We'll schedule it for 4, so he'll be there at 4:30.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, he has to. No, you don't understand. So if we schedule it at 4, he starts with a lunch hour, dude.
Oh, I
He
see.
gets there at 4. It won't be till 5, and then you could have a.
But then we get Timmy.
Now you get to Timmy, and Timmy can start. Although we have other people, but yeah, that would be great, dude.
Oh,
You could
without
talk
a
it out.
Oh yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah, we've it's funny because we've been through quite a few people to do the challenge and this kind of thing, but Troy's worked out fantastic.
It just takes getting used to.
Troy's organic.
Yes. It
It's
takes
very organic.
wearing the mic and talking. And
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, Troy's a little chatterbox like me, dude. He's a little chatterbox. All right, what else you got? What else you got, Sticky? Ooh, Rob from Ohio. I go to a casino in Cleveland, and the craps dealers, some, are just hating life. I'm usually positive when I approach. How can I insult them without getting hogtied by security? Oh, how do you insult a terrible dealer? Oof.
Don't tip.
Yeah, that's one way.
Don't tip.
Yeah. You know what you can do? Besides that, you can talk out your, I hate to say this. I've actually, I'll be honest with you, when I come across a real terrible craps dealer, I will look at him and I'll be like, listen here, buddy. I'm about to string bet the hell out of you. Yes. Prepare yourself.
Yes.
And I'm like, listen, I want a $5 five. And when you get done with that, I'll let you know what my next bet is. Because he knows that I know that I'm stroking the hell out of him. And I've even been like, listen, I got money in this hand, okay? And I got money in this hand. It's what they call a double-fisted stroke, okay?
Yep.
And I'm going to work you over like there's nobody's business. Yes. So you're either going to have fun or it's going to be a long flipping night. You know what I mean?
I've said it several times. I don't know how many times I've heard from a customer that they played the night before at another casino.
Yep.
And the dealer was rude and all the players were rude. And I always, well, how long did you play for? Oh, 3 hours. Why?
Yeah.
If you're not enjoying it, there's other games, there's other casinos. Don't waste your time or money.
So you want to know one of the casinos, one of the highest tier casinos out here begins with the B. Begins with B. We had a player come to Casino Quest, and I was teaching them triple lux with leaving the $36 five, right? Because it pays $50.
Right.
I like to bet a $36 five because I don't care about the 40 cents. I just want my 2 green checks and move on with my life. I don't want and if I'm a dealer, I love a $36 five because I only have to cut out 2 green checks. Yes. I could be a lazy ass dealer. I don't have to cut out $49 because for us, $49 is more effort. You know what I'm saying? No, yeah. Right?
Yes.
Why wouldn't you want a $36 five? How could you not want? So much easier. Anyways, this dealer would not let this player bet. Kept handing the dollar off. We don't do $36 bets here, sir. It has to be in increments of 5. And I was like, what casino do you work at? There's not a casino on the planet that doesn't want you to bet a $7 five.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes, the breakage. They love the breakage.
They love the breakage. If you're a player and you bet $5 on the pass line, right? And we have a point, and you do not want, if you put $10 on top of your money, right? And I go to help you and I say, excuse me, sir, ma'am, let me help you with that. And I go to put it as odds, and you're like, you know what? I don't want odds. And you put it back on the pass line, God bless you. I'm done.
Yep.
There's not much more I can do for you. Every casino in the world wants that bet.
Yes.
Right? They don't want to pay odds.
No.
And we could even be like, oh, well, that's a fantastic bet for you because now you're getting rated for all $15.
Yes, exactly.
How great. And so, you know what I mean?
Yes.
But yeah, so any dealer that you come across, by the way, I would recommend, just because they work at a certain place, that doesn't mean talk to the supervisor.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Or leave. No, don't deal with that.
No. And we're like anyone else. We have good days and bad days. One thing that I learned early on, when you get to work, you're supposed to leave your problems at the door, like every other job in the world. Yep. But it's not always easy. So we will have good days and bad days. But if you repeatedly have the dealer that's just a bad attitude, play a different game.
Yeah.
Play on the different side.
Yeah.
Or, like Dave said, maybe speak to the supervisor. Maybe there's something going on in this particular dealer's personal life where they need some help with.
Yep.
Because I know MGM is really good with that. We've had sometimes a person is having problems outside of the job. Mm-hmm. And they may need some counseling. They may need someone to talk to.
Yep.
Sometimes it may just be your pit manager, your shift manager, just a kind ear. Mm-hmm. You just never know what a person's going through.
Yeah. By the way, back to that. We'll thank Jerry. Jerry, thank you so much. And we'll get to your question here in a second. You know, one of the other things I used to do was I'd be setting up to shoot, have a terrible dealer, and I would tell the stick man, your base man's going to kill your toke rate.
Yes.
I said, because I'm a dice dealer. I'd be hooking you guys up, but he's such a terrible. I'll tell him right there.
Right.
Your toke rate's going down. I'm still gonna help you out because you're the stick man. You're not him. And sometimes I've gotten a smile from the base dealer and sort of changed him around a little bit. But you know what's funny? I remember that about you, dude. That's one of the reasons why I wanted you to work with us. When you came in here, we've had a few people that I've used to work with, And one of them I know came in here, commiserator, one of the people that used to always find things to bitch about. And we made 70,000 plus at the Rio. There was nothing to bitch about.
No.
In the 90s, that was great money for a dealer.
Yes.
And one of the things I know about Troy was that he was always very upbeat. You know, he would talk about his family and things like this that were going on in his life. But as far as being a dealer, he was also one of those people that he'd be on the stick and have fun on the stick. He didn't hate the stick. There are some crap dealers that just hate working the pole, but you make it what it is.
It's only 20 minutes.
It's 20 minutes.
It's 20 minutes. That's
Yeah,
it.
let it go.
Yes.
All right, let's get to Jerry's question. Where do you recommend playing at? Well, here, we'll break it up. Just leave that. Okay, so where do you recommend staying and playing at here in Vegas?
It depends a lot on your budget. As simple as that. I mean, we have different tiers, I guess you'd call them, casinos.
Yeah.
If you're looking for $10 games or $15 games or $25 games, I'm biased being that I work for MGM, so I would want to say them. But it's where you feel the most comfortable at. I've had one of the people at the mall come through and says he always stays at Caesar's Palace. His wife loves the rooms, but they refuse to gamble there now. And that's just his personal choice. It's his money. He chooses to pay the full rate to stay at Caesar's Palace because of the rooms. He just doesn't care for the casino, so he goes somewhere else. And you have to find what works for you. You know?
You know, we actually polled some of our fans and people in our community, and amazingly, you know what the number one place to stay at? A Caesar's property. Basically because the Caesar's comping system can be very generous when it comes to rooms, especially.
Okay.
So depending upon what you do, MGM also has M Life reward, M Life stuff like this has rewards, but it depends on how you interact with the casino. You get different returns. So a lot of times you just have to sort of look and see how their rewards are based. And Station Casinos, I always go back to Station. They're a fantastic partner of ours. They employ a lot of dealers and they work with us. It's a locals place. But everything you do at a Station Casino counts towards your comps.
Oh, wow.
I mean, if you can go in the gift shop, you get a room, you eat.
Okay.
Everything literally is part of that experience, right?
Okay.
And of course, with Station here locally anyways, you have access to lots of properties all over town. A lot of the places that locals like to go to that's affordable.
Yes.
But as far as the staying go, for me, it's all about the room.
Okay.
I don't mind unless the room is like free, I'm gonna stay there. Clearly,
Yes.
I mean,
Of course.
what I mean?
Of course.
But you'll notice that the dynamics of the rooms out here are very, very different. Some of them are a bit smaller. Other rooms are a lot bigger. Some of them have certain types of amenities. The nicest thing about Aria, even though it's an expensive room, the suites, you get shuttle service direct from the airport. So if you like a real hassle-free experience, the Aria suites, the Aria Sky Suite, what is it, Sky Suites? Sky Suites have one of the few left that have the shuttle perk where they'll just come pick you up and take you. A lot of hotels, MGM used to have a reservation booth literally at the airport. They've gotten rid of that. And many of the hotels no longer have the sort of hassle-free experience where they pick you up, unless you're a player. Now, if you're a player, they'll pick you up anywhere.
They'll literally pick you up and carry you.
Yeah, they'll take you where you gotta go. But if just by default, when you book with Aria at the Sky Suites, you get that shuttle. It's basically it's like a white glove type of experience. They'll have somebody pick you up, take you to the room, show you the room, give you the whole tour. And Aria uses a lot of tech. So inside the room as well, if you don't like getting up to open your curtains or do anything, you want to just sit in bed the whole time and veg, Aria is the place for you because they literally have remote controls for everything. You can just control the whole room. And that's another thing. So if you're someone who really wants to be on vacation and not be hassled by a lot of stuff, you have to look into, I have an extensive, so I was working with a group out here as a consultant. I can't mention who, but I compiled this massive list. I had to research 104 casinos.
Wow.
And work out every amenity. I have a list. It's about 328 items, even including which ones you could open your window.
Oh, wow.
Because some people want fresh air.
Okay.
And a lot of casinos now, they have that little hole, and you got to press the button to get like a whiff of air coming through your room, this kind of thing. But so when it comes to the rooms, like what I want a coffee maker where the Keurig isn't like weighted, where every pod's going to cost $9. Wow. Okay? $9. Wow. Some places $9 to do the pod. I want it to be included,
Yes.
right? So like I want a coffee maker, I want a window that opens, I want 400 square feet. So I have all these things out because I've been here. I've been able to compare a lot of
Okay.
rooms, and not everybody checks that off, by the way.
Right.
So a lot of places, it really depends. So where you want to stay, I would love to one of these days just to have a show literally on amenities.
Yes.
So and
Yes.
let people know like how, because we know.
Yes.
We have a lot of that. Anyways, all right. So playing at, that's really like how you play, what kind of games you like. I need 20 card Keno at the casino I'm playing at.
Yes. Which most places have.
There's a few
Not
places
all.
that still, a lot of
Not
some
all.
strip places have not gone to the 20 card yet, sadly.
Sadly.
And if I'm playing dice, I want a $5 game.
Yes.
Even if it's like midweek or graveyard, I gotta have a $5 game at some point. But yeah, one of these days we should put together like a cross reference of
Yes.
like why to go there, what to do.
Yes.
Everything is different, really is.
One thing I think that would be very helpful for everybody at home and a lot of people that come to the mall is if we could find out what casinos offer what minimums, especially on craps.
Yeah.
We get asked that every day.
All the time. I know.
Right.
Maybe put up like a reference thing at the
Yes.
at Casino Quest. So we're working on an app that will have a lot of this in there.
Okay.
By the way.
That'd be awesome.
So when people plug in, it'll be available to you. It'll be available to our users of, because it's the whole thing. We're Casino Quest. We want you to go to wherever
Exactly.
that fits your. So if you want a certain type of table, certain type of bonus bet, certain kind of machine, certain room.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Before the pandemic hit, we had started working with a lot of the concierge desks, and guess what was the first concierge desk to work with us? Aria.
Wow.
Aria started sending people over first
Okay.
thing. Yep. Fantastic. They love Casino Quest.
I think
There's a few
it's
fans
great
over
thing.
there. There's someone, we're not
Yes.
sure who it is, but
Yes.
there's someone over there who's a big fan, so good for you. Fantastic. All right. Wait a minute. We took down the rest of his stuff. We hadn't finished his question. All right. What's the best players club? Where can you find the fire bet at? Thinking of a May trip. We'll stop by CQ. Fantastic. We'll see you in May. My birthday's in May, just so you know.
That's why he's coming out.
I'm gonna be 35 again. 35. What do you
35.
think, buddy? 35.
It's one of my favorite birthdays.
Dennis is officially fired for laughing at that joke.
You can't replace Sticky. Come on.
No, Sticky. Well, yeah, because he's so sticky. He can't replace
Yeah,
Sticky. I mean,
exactly.
it's like that booger that gets stuck on your hand and you can't get rid of it.
It's
you know
stuck
what I
to
mean?
you. Yep.
All right, best players club. What do you think?
It's really hard to say. It really is because I've heard a lot of great things about Caesars. One of our students is a regular player at
Yeah.
Caesars, and he thinks they have a better comp policy than MGM.
Yep.
And
What'd I tell you?
yes, and it comes down to what you like, what you can get the best value for your dollar. And unless you sat down with that big formula, because people ask me all the time how comps work, a lot of times it's your average bet times time played times a multiplier. The better the game is for you, the lower the multiplier.
Yeah.
Your dice, your blackjack, your baccarat have a smaller multiplier. You go to the carnival games, you get a much higher multiplier
Yeah.
for some
I
odd
love it.
reason.
No, yeah, we can't figure that one out. That's so that's true. I wanna get like rated for everything.
Yes.
I want to have everything I spend. That's why I like the station thing. But I will say, back especially when Caesar's Bacchanal Buffet was going, that was one of the perks they used to give away at the tiers. They give you like $100 credit to the buffet,
Okay.
which was enough to get like 1.5 people to dinner.
But still.
But still. Because, oh my God, I actually had to go there to research. So at one point, one of the research points we did was just buffets. And I'm amazed at all the amenities. So the buffets, they didn't add, like on the weekends, right? They have like gourmet dinners. Like they have
wow.
where they upgrade the price. And then they have like the chef can come out, or you can sit at the chef's seat. Then you can get, different types of wine included.
wow.
And next thing you know, you're like over $100 per person for this flipping
Oh, yeah.
buffet.
Oh, yeah.
All these different add-ons. We can't wait to the first buffet to come back right now is Cosmo the Wicked Spoon.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
It really is great food. You won't be able to figure out what some of the stuff is if you're like me and you're like a Denny's, a regular at Denny's or Olive Garden.
Yes.
Some of the dishes at Cosmo are very foofy.
Yes.
They're good,
They are.
but they got names that you might not remember.
If you're that type of person that likes to try something new,
Yeah.
that's the place for you.
That is a good place, and you get it individual. They
Yes.
even before the pandemic, they'd serve everything like you don't have. There's not like a big ladle
No.
that everybody's like sharing.
Yes.
It's like this is yours and this is
Exactly.
for you. You
Individual
just pick your
portions.
individual
Yes.
portions. There you go.
And a lot of people really like that.
No,
They
people,
do.
yeah, people love that. That was the first time. That was the first buffet I ever went to and saw like for like the whole buffet was like that. I've been to
Yes.
places where you get like a basket of fries.
Right.
Everybody gets
Yeah.
one basket because they
Yes.
don't want people whatever. But at the Cosmo, it's literally everything was like that.
Yes.
You know. All right. Here we go. What else is there? Where can you find a fire bet still? Station Casino still has a fire bet.
Yes, that I do know. Stations definitely has that.
Where else?
Bally's, I was told, now has the fire bet and all tall small.
Wow. They're just giving away money over there,
Exactly.
printing money, dude.
Why not?
All
How
those
could you not
bonus
win?
bets are so in the favor of the player.
Yes,
Those
they're
are
in your
free.
favor,
Those are
yes.
handouts.
Yeah, oh my. They're exciting when you win. People
They are
ask me,
exciting.
should I play it? I'm like, well, you're playing a game that's already against you in the odds to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
Why not step it out there? Because there's nothing worse than playing and having the fire bet hit 5,000, 5,000. Oh, yeah, you didn't bet it.
Yeah.
5,000, 5,000.
And you're the shooter.
Yeah, even worse.
Right?
And then some guy feels bad. Here's
Yeah.
$25 for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
My whole philosophy on gambling is that it's there to be entertaining.
Yes.
And so just entertain yourself.
That's-
If you sit back and worry about all the math, you shouldn't be playing.
That's why they changed it. It's not gambling. It's gaming.
It is really
It's
just
gaming now.
gaming. It's
Yes.
it's meant for entertainment. Yeah, you have to just go with money you're prepared to lose. When I sit down at Keno, I'm not, as much as I joke, I'm not literally anticipating. Most times I'm just anticipating going through my money and going home and just being happy to do that.
And every now and then we win, and it's nice.
And it's a great feeling, and we share our screenshots. And,
Yes,
you know
we
what I
don't
mean?
show the losing screenshots.
Yeah,
we
you know.
don't show credits,
Yeah.
0. No.
Yeah, no, that's true. All right, what else you got, Dennis? Oh, good. Joey 501, question. On an old craps table limit sign I'd seen online, it said maximum proposition payout will not exceed 3,000. Is that for a single bet or a combination of prop bets? So, that's a very good question. We get asked that a lot. Basically, whatever straight up on the number that hits. So any combination bet like three-way craps only has X amount on that number that hits. So that number that hits can only pay, and every casino will have a maximum amount you can bet. So some casinos you can only bet maybe $150 three-way craps because you end up with $50 on the 12, $50 on the aces, and that's all they're prepared to pay. On a horn bet, for example, you might get as high as what Aria? What can you take on a straight-up horn bet?
Why you put me under the gun?
I know, right?
It's been a minute.
It's been a minute.
Yes.
Because so normally it's whatever the highest, the 12 and the aces, whatever you could take on the 12 and the aces, right? So if $50 straight up 12 pays how much, sir? Okay, there you go.
$1,500.
$1,500.
I got you
There you
there.
go.
Yes.
So if you're on a $1,000 table, it's time and a half. A lot of tables, $1,000 game, $1,500 is the most you can collect off a prop action. It'll depend on the casino, but that's typically the case. In fact, that table might have been a $2,000 game, could have been a $1,000 game, because casinos love prop action, and they're prepared to take a little more, because the Theo on props is a little higher than obviously on place bets and pass line. So on a horn bet, for example, the most you'd be able to bet on a casino, the $1,000 limit would typically be $200, because that puts $50 on the aces and 12. Even though there's only $50 on the 11 or the ace deuce, right? You're betting in equal amounts. You're for equal amounts. You follow? So like, let's say in that case, if you wanted to bet more, that type of casino may let you bet $100 on the 11 and $100 on the ace deuce. You'd have to just split it up. You wouldn't bet it as a horn bet. You'd bet $100 11, $100 ace deuce, $50, and then $100. So $100 11, $200 11 ace deuce, and then a $100 high low. You follow?
Yes.
Otherwise, but if you're going to put it together as a horn bet where they're equal amounts, the bet's divided by 4, you can only bet what the maximum would be on the 12 and the aces to hit, because that's the higher value. You follow?
But I think what he was asking is,
Oh.
if your maximum payout is a $50 12,
Right. And
can he bet a $200 horn and a $150 three-way crap?
Oh, no, you cannot bet that.
Right.
So whatever the maximum allowed per number, that's the maximum you'd be at. You
Right.
wouldn't be able to create a new bet, because a three-way crap is just an easy way of referring to a 12 ace, deuce, aces, right? And a horn bet is just another way of putting together those 4 numbers or those 3 numbers with the 11. But ultimately, you have $50, you know what I mean? You'd have $100 on the 12. You couldn't do that, right?
Yes.
So the dealer, and the reason why some places would post that is because dealers always make mistakes with this all the time. I've seen many dealers parlay hardways or put up hardways that end up exceeding the table limit. And then, of course, you end up in a big jackpot if there's not signage on the game, or you end up in. Believe it or not, a lot of people start even in new casinos without knowing what the maximum allowed is. And we tell our dealers the first thing you should do, you enter a crash pit, is first know what everything pays, because casinos use different odds here, different paybacks on odds, right? 16 for 1, some use 15 for 1. And then, of course, what the limits are on your table, and not just what your sign says. So you have contract players that can do double limits. So you need to know what that. You don't want to piss off a player that comes up on your first day and tell them, no, sir, no. Sign says.
Typically, we know, our pit manager makes sure we know. Yeah,
right.
Tonight we have so and so in, and he
That's
does
it.
have double limits. Because if you have somebody that's double limits, a lot of times they don't like to hear no.
No.
And you should know that person has double limits.
Yeah. And then some older layouts or casinos that rely on older layouts, they might have different places where they want you to set up different types of hopping bets. Sometimes a world bet goes on the edge of the 7. They don't have an actual world set up there. All the hardways hopping. They might let you put it. They might, want you to set it up depending on if they have this grid. I know, different station casinos had the different layouts. So so just you have to become familiar with this stuff.
Yes.
But having that sign could save a jackpot. So what happens to the overage? What if there's overage? What do you do?
Well, you shouldn't have booked it to begin with.
Yeah.
First of all. But secondly, if you realize it after, that's when you turn around and call Steve the floorman. That's my random floorman guy's name.
Steve, not Ralph?
Nope, not Ralph. I like Steve. I don't know why. And Steve comes over and you tell him about your mess up, and then now it's on Steve.
Now it is Steve, yeah.
Yes.
That's not something a dealer would take under their.
No.
It's literally just ship that right to the supervisor.
The top 2 reasons to get fired as a dealer: fixing your own mistake and stealing.
Yeah.
Don't do either one. As simple as that.
Can we mention the stealing? So, so tell me, I never got to see this. You remember there was a guy at the Rio that was fired, a box person that was stealing the $100 check in the boot, and had this thing rigged in his sleeve. You remember that?
Yes.
And I must have run into him at some point, but I didn't get to see him a whole lot. But apparently he would stand up and he would do this, and drop into his boot.
Yes.
And they nailed him. There was actually checks in his boot.
Of course.
Yeah.
When my brother and I, we went to dealer school at the same time, our dice instructor, Tim Hart, I wonder if you're still out there, he told us every casino has a thief, and they're going to get caught.
Yeah.
Every casino I've worked at has had a thief, and they get caught.
Yeah.
It's sooner or later, and the most ironic thing about the thieves that get caught, it's usually a customer that catches them.
Yeah.
It's usually a customer that sees this going on, where we had at the Rio, our $500 chips were light blue, and they were very similar to our green chips. And this dealer was working with an outside player and their floor person. The guy would bet $75. The dealer would have a green chip, the 500, and a green chip. So the winning bet was worth $550.
Yeah, not
The
75.
lady that saw it happening walked into the pit and called the floorman over and said, "I want some of that." And
Well,
he
yeah.
had no idea what she was talking about, and she told. She was just trying to get in on the action.
Well, I don't blame her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want some of that
dealer
payout.
and floorman were walked out of the casino. It wasn't a pretty sight.
Never to be seen again.
And it was just one of those dealers you thought, everybody loves him.
Yep.
He would never do something like that. Apparently he would.
That's interesting. Every casino, and now that I'm thinking about it, I have those stories from almost every casino.
Exactly.
A lot of them is where I was at one casino specifically, and it was someone palming payoffs for a relative, and they found out it was like their uncle that was playing the game every night. Like, I mean, it couldn't have been more obvious.
Yeah.
Right.
There's been a lot of that.
Yeah.
False ratings.
Yeah. Oh, the rating thing. A lot of people have taken advantage of that. Well, back in the day, you used to be able to just write a ticket and off you went.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And so there was a lot of family, friends, and neighbors that would hook you up with a, "Hey, man,
Oh, yes.
I won't slash your tires today if you give me a pack of smokes."
Yep.
I remember at the Horseshoe, I had a friend at the Horseshoe, and he would throw me cigarettes right over in the pit. You know what I mean? I mean, as many as not as many, but as long as I was playing.
Yeah.
But everybody was pretty much. I would only be in like $10, and I would get a pack of smokes. He'd be like, "David, here you go, buddy."
We kept them at the Barbary Coast in the podium. They had cartons underneath.
Yeah.
And all you basically had to do was ask.
Yeah, that's
Here
it.
you go. Here's a pack of smokes for you.
I know.
Yeah. Try it now.
No, you don't get a pack of smoke. By the way, those machines, I don't smoke anymore. I haven't smoked for a while. Those machines, cigarettes are a lot of money. I don't know how you guys afford to
At the
smoke.
table games, they're $19.
Oh my God! Swear to God, that's enough to quit right there. That's what they did.
And the girl will stand there waiting for that dollar.
So yeah, that's what they
Yes.
did. They did that on purpose, just
Of
so they'll leave her
course.
$1 for the
Yeah.
cocktail waitress.
And some guys are like, I just paid $19 for a pack of smokes. You get nothing.
Yeah, I need that $1.
Yeah.
All right, what else? Do we have any other questions? Is anybody out there? We really? All right, let's get back to business. Are poker dealers last of the only game dealers? Yeah, well,
No. There are dealers out there in higher end casinos that only deal one game.
SR dealers. If you're a fantastic SR dealer, you're going to see SR a lot.
There's also bad dealers that only deal blackjack.
There are still some legacy dealers.
And 3-card poker. Yeah, they
3-card
know
poker.
2 games. They claim to
Ridiculous.
know more, but they
Yeah.
don't.
I know of a party pit dealer that was held over at a casino. So they got rid of the party pit, but they kept her.
Okay.
And she's actually a fantastic personality, but she only knows carnival games, which just kind of stuns me. She actually doesn't have a main game. She literally came to the school to learn main games.
Okay.
They've kept her this whole time just dealing carnival games. Wow. And good for her, though. She has a great personality. But that's no longer a thing. You're not going to go to a casino just with carnival games.
No. They don't even audition you on the
No,
carnival games.
you got to have blackjack, got to have something. But there are some legacy dealers still out there who just deal blackjack because they've been working since they were, they're 60 now.
Yes.
They've been there since they were
Oh,
25.
yes. Yep.
And it's a thing. Poker, by the way, there's a lot of games. So even though poker has really gone down to Texas Hold'em now, not Ultimate, Texas Hold'em, and some Omaha, you'll still see World Series of Poker, other poker tournaments that other games sort of, are involved. World Series of Poker is 19 games. You know what I mean? They have a lot of different games.
Yes.
They're not as popular, of course. They might not make the TV so much.
No.
But some of these poker dealers, and interestingly, we're actually looking at finally adding back poker. We finally ran across someone we think could be a potential teacher here.
Okay.
The bar is high though. Bar is very high. So for those of you interested in poker or poker dealing, what we have heard basically is, if the Renaissance in Vegas is as big as everyone thinks it is, poker will come back. But we, if you guys know us, we're not gonna be teaching poker or graduating poker dealers. We get calls, by the way, all the time for poker, but there's no poker jobs.
No.
Even in other markets, it's very limited now
Yes.
because there's so many. A lot of these poker rooms either contracted, or you got to sit around a table with 9 people. During COVID, that wasn't really a thing. Although I know that they've there's Orleans, there's Santa Fe, there's some poker rooms that are still going. Aria, of course,
Yes.
and there's a lot of tournament play. But I did talk to a casino manager recently, and the feeling is the Vegas is going to experience quite the renaissance here.
Okay.
Over the next couple of years. And if that's true, then we'll see poker rooms because they would do casinos. They don't make a lot of money on poker, but poker brings in the husband with the wife. It brings everybody into the casino.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's a low rank game, but it's there for a reason. It's always been. It's like having shows, right?
Yeah.
Or a buffet, really.
Yeah.
So, anyways, we might be adding poker back here very soon.
And I met quite a few World Series of Poker dealers because the Rio is the home of World Series of Poker. And they're like nomads. They follow the tournament circuit. They'll be in Vegas for 6 weeks for the World Series of Poker, and they know where the next big tournament is. They take some time off, they go to that next tournament. Or they skip a tournament, they travel a little bit, but that's their life. And they don't have a home casino. They just, wherever the big tournaments are going.
Yep. And you can do really well that way, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah, especially some of those you know, some of those what do they call it? The satellite games.
Oh yes.
You know, a lot of the satellite
Yes.
games. You can rake in some
Yes.
serious tokes, by the way.
My buddy dealt those, and he said he made a lot of money.
Tons of
dealing
money.
them.
Yeah, there's some dealers that come to Vegas just for that action. They don't care about the tournament. They want to do all the satellite action.
Yes.
Okay, what else you got? We got plenty because we got 10 more minutes. What do you think, sir? 10 more minutes? You good?
I'm good.
You in?
I'm-
all right,
oh, yeah.
fantastic. How do you guys like Keno?
Because-
One with the stone, by the way. Love that.
Yes.
Camelot, buddy.
Dude, Keno's the game.
I know.
Keno is 100% the game.
Oh God, I love it. Well, I found out that so you know, Troy, we worked dice. I didn't know he played Keno, but you have to imagine. I'm always telling people a lot of dice dealers they play Keno. A lot of dealers, period, because they don't want to see a table game. They want to see a slot machine. And Keno, video poker takes brain power. You gotta think about which cards to hold.
And I'm always pressing the wrong cards.
Yeah.
So I was like, wait, I could just pick my numbers and press a button. I'm
in. Yeah.
Yes.
And so he's here at the school for like a week at one point. He's like, look, Dave, look what I won. And I'm like, no way, Keno. And then off we went.
Yep.
All right, there you go.
It's the greatest game. It really is. If you go in bars now, they'll have 10 to 20 bar top machines. 80% or higher are Keno players.
Yeah, because Keno, I think, is taken over from video poker in some
By
way.
far,
But especially
yes.
locally. Video
Yes.
poker used to be the king, clearly.
Oh,
but
without
Keno
a
now
doubt.
is big.
Yes.
Yeah, Keno, strangely enough, is big. Okay. One with the Stone, love that reference. I'm thinking One with the Stone is a Camelot reference. I love the whole Camelot mythos and the yeah. All right, how would I come to your school to learn? I'm thinking learn the game more. That's probably Sticky because Sticky has to type him in. He doesn't know how to type and he doesn't know how to spell, so there's that.
That's
But
how I do it.
anyways, now he's like, that's it, I quit. And,
Gonna kick over the camera
he's
and
like,
leave.
well, if you pay somebody, well, yeah, you know, we donate to his favorite charity.
There you go.
And that's me. So there's you go. So it works out nice.
You gotta fund the Keno.
There you go.
I
Wow.
get it.
Well, yeah, that's the
Yep.
thing. How would I come to your school? So you just stop by, 2605 South Decatur, southwest corner of Decatur and Sahara.
Yes.
And we'll give you a tour. There's never any pressure to sign up. We have plenty of students, so we show you the thing. We give you the rundown, what's available, what's out there, and that's it. And that's you just learn about the games. We always tell it like it is. Right now, we have a lot of casinos that are starting the onboarding process, so that's where we're at. There's a period now, kind of like this gray zone, where casinos they ramped up a little bit in advance of what was going on, and now they're kind of on pause for a second. But in the next couple of weeks, we have a real high-level meeting with one of our casino partners. By the way, we still have jobs in Mesquite. There's still a few places. Boyd, Gold Coast is always sort of has a turnover there, so they're always looking for dealers. So there are jobs, but a lot of the jobs are coming soon.
Yes.
So even at 50%, a lot of the casino revenue is being driven off of the casino. A lot of people are coming out to play, either slot machines or table games. So a lot of casinos are using the space that they have and the table license they have to really max out their table space, get as many deals as they can. And now that the restrictions are being loosened, I mean, it's been busy. Like, casino pits are busy.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And I think it's a good time right now. I've told a lot of students this, not just because I work here, but right now we're in a phase with Resort World opening up and them taking dealers from other properties. That's going to open up spots there.
Yep.
So people in the tier 1 are going to move to tier 2, and it's like a domino effect.
Yep.
We've had 2 of our students recently. One went to California to work. The other one went to Boston.
Yeah.
They got offered really good jobs. They learned to deal here at the school, and they were 2 of the students that were here every day.
Yeah.
They came in every day. They worked. They got better. They auditioned. They got hired.
And like we said earlier, if you're maybe interested in moving, I can guarantee you the job. If you come to CEG and get certified by us, I can make sure that you get on board. So that's by the way, that's the relationship. I have made sure that if we're not sending anybody out of market where they're going to show up and have to go through all this whole process of auditioning and not know if they have the job. If you're prepared to actually move and accept a job in another market, we're going to make sure that that's a thing and that you're guaranteed to start there. Now, if you screw that up after you get in the door, that's kind of on you. But as long as we give you the green light, we can get you. By the way, we're all about de-rigging the system. For those of you out there who think that that's it, we're a fully diverse, very diverse, a very sort of open-ended environment, and we accept everybody and we promote everybody. Want everybody to succeed here at CEG. So, you as long as you have, you can deal. There you're good to go. All right. Is David coming to Sapphire Day Club for my bachelor party? If you're paying, sir.
There you go.
I mean,
It's not a cheap date.
It's not going to be a cheap date. I'm actually pretty cheap though because I don't drink a lot of the expensive alcohol. I
happen to know Sapphire does not have Keno.
That's
Just
gonna
so
be
you know,
now
going in.
disappointed.
Yes.
Alex loves that place, by the way. You won't have to ask him at all. He'll just be there waiting.
There you go.
He's like, that's his like. Sticky, where's your favorite place to eat? Dennis, where's your favorite place to eat? Is it Taco Bell, sir? He just rolled his eyes. He is not a big fan of Taco Bell.
No.
I would say Sora Ramen is probably
Which one?
Sora Ramen.
Sora Ramen.
Or We're a Thai, really like.
Oh, We're a Thai. Yeah. So we've been going there. We're a Thai. He's been in. So the ramen thing. Oh God, it's not Denny's, dude. They love this. It does taste good. I will admit. And every time I open up the thing with the egg and everything, it just smells like someone farted in my face. And then
But
from
does it
there,
taste
I'm
good?
out. It does taste good.
It tastes amazing.
It does
sir.
taste amazing. But anyways, I love I love Thai food, dude.
Okay.
But for me, they always ask me how much spice you want. And I'm like, you know what? Not so much.
Okay. If you're not a spice guy, I get it.
Does it come with a pancake on the side? Then maybe I could do a spice.
There you go.
I could do it. I could absorb the spice with the pancake. All right, what do you got, buddy? You got more? We got 5 minutes. Wow.
This is a long question.
Marvin Lai, with money becoming more inflated and minimum wage going up in Nevada, do you agree that dealers will make more money in the future? That's question number 1. Aside from Vegas, are there any other states that make equal or more money as a dealer? I got answers. I'll let you go first, sir, just so I don't, go right ahead. What do you think?
I believe the dealers, and like Dave was saying,
Yep.
you can honestly put in your time and within 7 to 10 years be at a higher tier casino making $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 a year.
Yep.
I know right now in California there are tribal casinos where the dealers are making that money starting.
Yeah.
They're making $70,000, $80,000 a year fresh out of dealer school.
Blackhawk's making $30. I mean, they're making over 30 an hour.
30
That's a fantastic
That's
job.
$240 plus your hourly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's another $60. That's $300 a day.
Yeah.
What career can you start out making $300 a day?
So, question number 1, inflation is going to start kicking in here eventually. I think that's going to happen. And the cost of living is going up in Vegas. Rent's a little more expensive. The one thing that's been kept low is the cost of food, and sort of the commodities are low here. So like those kinds of things. Gasoline is kind of in the middle because we get some of our gasoline from California. We don't pay California prices, but we don't pay like Texas prices or Oklahoma prices, that kind of thing. So between the cost of living and inflation, I think the earnings opportunity will be a little diminished. But remember, wages will, obviously minimum wage has to go up accordingly. And I think that as the attitudes of money a little change, people, I think tokes will stay fairly appropriate. Will stay in the line. So right now, according to Bureau of Labor Statistics, according to all the data we have, the average off-strip dealer makes about $36,000 a year for a full-time, not including benefits, by the way. The benefits add to that quite a bit because you get medical benefits, you get to eat at most of them have employee dining rooms, and there's a lot of, you add all that up, maybe it adds another $5,000 a year, something like this. The average strip dealer makes $54,000 is what I always tell people 50,000 because I don't, 54. But that's only because you do have a lot of casinos right at that 50,000 mark. Believe it or not, there's 8 that we know of, and we won't go counting up. And there's a few, Aria, Cosmo, Wynn, Bellagio, that make well in excess of that. That make, I won't tell you. Well, we won't have. So 95,000 what an Aria dealer will make. That's not on the tow committee.
That's not on the tow committee.
Yeah, if we're
With
on
the
the tow
right days
committee,
off.
with the right days off, that's
Yes.
true. A Cosmo dealer last year that we know not on the tow committee made about the same. Aria actually makes a little bit more. It's considered to be still the #1 job in town. But
It was Cosmo.
they're neck and neck. Maybe it was Cosmo. They're pretty much neck and neck. Depends on what days and what, they have some really good Tuesdays that you might miss. If you happen to have Tuesdays off, you kind of get screwed because some high rollers like coming in on Tuesday for some reason.
Yes.
But so there's that. I mean, that's the truth of it. Like anything else, there's going to be a bit of an evolution. But yeah, all right. So aside from Vegas, or any other states make equal or more money, without a doubt, Colorado Black Hawk is one of the best places there is. I also think that the other places, some of the tribal locations are fantastic. It's kind of where it's kind of hit or miss. Some do better than others, some not so much. It's much more competitive, the environment. There are many more casinos that are opening up. 20-something states that are legal now, adding more states in the near future, as we've, all of us and such. I think, quite honestly, Texas is going to go live, so that's going to take. So some of those places, like in Oklahoma, that are doing great, maybe in Louisiana on the border, those might have the toke rate might go down a little bit because some of those big players in Texas are obviously going to stay at Texas.
Right.
So there's always that. What's interesting is you can always ask. It's never a big secret. If you're looking at an opportunity as a dealer, it doesn't hurt. Most of the relationships we have, one of them is with Penn Gaming. They'll tell you straight up what the toke rate is. They want you to know exactly what you're getting into.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, that's a pretty good answer. That's why we moved this to the business channel, by the way.
Okay.
It's no more an entertainment vlog. It's like a business vlog. Because we give the down and dirty, the deep, probative truths here, buddy.
And that's what it's about. you got to tell the truth. I mean,
it is what it is.
Yes.
You know what I mean? The truth will set you free. All right, what else you got? All right, Freedom Aggie. Come odds working on the come out. Hedge with a 3-way 7. Do you take your winnings from the 7 or put back the come action with the 7? Do you take your winnings, assuming obviously the 7 hits, right?
yes.
Uh-oh, wait a minute. What's going on? We need to see the question again because
We were still contemplating.
yeah, we're
it.
older. We got to read it. Come odds working
So
on
they
the
have
come
the
out.
come odds working.
Yep. So he had some come odds there, but he had a 3-way to cover whatever the 3-way was to cover that. Do you take your winning? Oh, do you make the put bets then? So instead of letting the come bets go down, do you then just make put bets at that? Use the 7 money to create
Right.
put bets,
I would say yes.
right?
Because that's what you're playing to get paid on your odds.
Yeah.
You're not playing to break even.
I agree.
So yeah, if you have, just for argument's sake, well, I don't even know what a good number would be. But if the 3-way 7 exactly covers the money you have up there with your flat bet and your odds, you're not looking just to break even. You're looking to get paid for that come bet with odds. So I would definitely put it back.
Yep. Yeah, because if the odds hit, you're going to get paid more, right?
Yes,
The
exactly.
7's only covering what the flat and the odds are.
Yes.
The static bet. You're really wanting to hit that number.
Yep.
Yeah, I would definitely I would then create the put bet. Do you know another same casino we talked about earlier had one of the guys was like,
I was going to bring it up.
we don't take put bets, and I was like, dude, I was like, so a put bet, is making instead of going through the com, you say, listen, put my $5 on the 8 and give me 10 odds, right? Which, by the way, a $15 place bet is going to pay you 17 anyways on a regular table on a 5. So they're going to pay exactly the same, a little bit different. We can go into that other time, but so I explained to the supervisor that if someone walks up to the table after a point's established, are you not going to let them put money on the line? He's like, oh yeah, of course they can bet the line. What does that have to do with it? That's a put bet.
Yes.
That's a put bet. You're putting money on a number after the point's established. There's no come out roll. You're not going through the come, right? In order for you to go through the come, it has to be on, the puck's got to be off. You got to be starting a new game. That's where the pass line is the come out roll. After that, it's a put bet. You're literally betting on the number that's marked. But anyway, he's like, no, that's different. The dealer has to physically take the put bet. Are you kidding me? It's just like mental gymnastics.
Yes.
It's the game is the game kind of thing.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I've been at several casinos that will not let you go on a $5,000 game, will not let you bet $6,000 on the 6 or 8. Only $5,000.
That's so terrible. That's
right?
so terrible.
What's Aria? That's not a thing, right?
No.
Yeah,
no.
of course.
100% you bet 6,000.
Yeah.
Yes.
So 32,000 across at Aria.
No big deal.
No problem.
Nope.
Yeah. All right.
None.
And that's how it should be. It's so
Yes.
silly. I don't understand. $1,000 game, $1,200 6s and 8s.
And
You
to
know what I
pay
mean?
a $5,000 6 or 8 pays.
Which one?
And what does a $5,000 6 or 8 pay?
Oh, you got me. Buddy.
Yeah, see?
I'm having a brave
Yeah.
part right there. 480 pays 560, And 2 is 233, 58.33.
There you go.
Fantastic.
Who
Look at
wants
that.
to cut
Wow.
out
And it's late.
58.33?
Yeah. No,
Yes.
no dealer wants to cut that out anyways. I know. Yeah. Nonsense.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways. All right. Good. All right. What else you got, Sticky? All right. We got. Oh, crap. We're past our bedtime. William Hopkins, is Troy going to teach strategies at Kino Quest? Yes, he will,
I
sir.
will. I will teach you.
We're gonna go out next. My very next trip out to wherever we go. You got to come with me, dude. We're gonna have so much fun. Old Dice Dealers playing Keno. That's what it's gonna be called. Old Dice Dealers playing Keno.
Why not?
All right, last question. Oh, Sarcastic King, how you doing, buddy? We've dealt to Sarcastic King back in the day. He's another old. Hello, Mr. David and Mr. Troy. How do casinos feel about facial hair when applying and being a dealer there? What is considered too much hair? All right, I'll let you go with this one, sir.
It's different by casino. Cosmopolitan had a much more relaxed thing to where man buns. Guys had man buns. Guys had ponytails. It was perfectly acceptable. This is not acceptable. This would be because it's longer, but this little, whatever you want to call it, on my face, I would not work with this.
Yeah.
I'm clean shaven at all times when I'm dealing. All this is cut off straight. My hair is usually longer, laid back. But they don't want men's hair typically below your collar.
Yeah. So it really, really depends. We run into that with the tattoos and a lot of guys, even gauges. So those kinds of things. So the more the less sort of classic you look, the less casinos want you to have it. That's really the rule. If you like to wear gauges, long hair, and have a beard, it might be 2 casinos left for you, right? If you're clean cut and clean shaven and everything, then every casino, even when it comes to tattoos. So the big rule in the tattoos is don't cover your face. Try to keep them off you can have them on your neck. We recently had a student with neck tattoos, and it turned out fine. HR, I guess, wasn't so sure, but the casino was like not a big deal. They don't want them on your face. We have had a student with tattoos on their hands.
Wow.
And that was a tough one because they had like what looked like an eye, but it could easily be a check, so they couldn't clear their hands.
Yeah.
But what they have to do is every time they go off the game, they have to hold their hand up to the camera so they can see it a little closer.
But at least they gave him a job.
But she managed to get a job.
Wow.
So again, it's really about you. I have a guy who's got literally tattoos everywhere. And not on his face though, but on his neck, arms, everything. And he was hired by a Caesars property that loves that.
Okay.
The hiring manager loves tattoos, and the pit likes a little alternative. I applied at the Hard Rock, and they were like, the hiring person there, we're looking for people with a little edge. I didn't have any edge. I was all American.
Yes.
I could have been on a Denny's poster kind of thing. And
but that's how the Hard Rock was back then.
I'm pushing for the Denny's promotional.
Yes, you are.
process, yeah.
Yes.
But that's how. But the Hard Rock was that. Back in the day, if you had gauges and all the other stuff, you were probably good. That was probably okay. That was like the one place in town that you could be a bit.
And the Palms kind of followed that.
Yeah.
And then Cosmopolitan.
And then the Cosmo, not a big thing.
No.
A lot more free. But like the Gold Coast is old school. They have very specific, instructions. So you just don't go there because you know that they're not going to hire you. They have very specific requirements. So yeah, good. All right, I think that's it, sir. Is that it? I think that's it. We're way past our bedtime. Just so you know, Troy, it's been a real pleasure.
I've really enjoyed it, Dave. I have.
This is the circle of life, dude.
Yeah, it is.
You were there at the sort of the beginning of my career.
Yeah.
In the beginning,
I was only early years.
In the early years.
Yes.
And we're sort of the next old generation.
The old guard.
The old guard a little bit.
Yes.
We know people, obviously when we were starting, we knew people much older than us, that a lot of the downtown, the old crusty mafia. By the way, so can I just go throw this in one last story, just so you know? I want to put this out there because hopefully this will come back and he'll by some miracle he hears this or listens to the podcast. Riviera, you mentioned the Riviera. So if those of you who used to watch Sopranos, someone from that Steve Sharippa, used to work there. He was the maitre d', and then he became the entertainment director. And I used to know him. I used to go to the shows there quite a bit. I had a friend that worked there, and I used to show up. And by the way, he was the nicest guy, dude. That same voice that you hear, because now he's a big movie star.
Yeah.
But I would love Steve Sharippa, You know, he's a big guy. He's just this really happy, always go lucky. And trust me, that job was not easy.
No.
The Riviera had 5 shows, and it was tough to manage all the entertainment acts and all the personalities and everything else that was going on there. But man, every day you would see him, and he was always happy to help and go out of his way. Entertainment director would literally walk down and take you to where you wanted to sit, everything, just hands on. Did you ever get to meet Steve?
I never did. I never did.
Dude, he is such a great. I really hope I run into him again, because that'd be fantastic. Because he was really, the Riviera is one of those places that I connected with when I was first in. They had these nickel machines. I used to love playing. I used to love the whole big. It used to be one of the largest casino floors.
Yes.
Even though it didn't have the most table, but it had a huge casino floor, and it was just so much fun. You had all those shows. There were a lot. There had Christopher's, Ristorante. I mean, all these classics. Some of you out there who remember, and Steve Siripa. I couldn't believe it. I'm watching The Sopranos, and there he is, guarding Junior. He was the guy that was guarding Junior. He was, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The big guy guarding Junior. Yeah.
And there's one thing to me, and you made me think of this, when you go to a casino and you put your cash in and you cash out your ticket and you go over here and you get your cash back, that's awesome. But back in the day, when you get 5 rolls of nickels,
Yeah.
and you feed those nickels 5 at a time into your machine, and then you cash out, and you got to ask the girl to bring you more buckets because you got 3 and 4 buckets full of nickels, and you're walking to the cage like a boss.
Yeah.
You're carrying all these nickels and trying not to spill them.
Oh, that was so much fun,
That was
dude.
great.
And
I'll
the
always remember that.
We were talking with Trent the other day. Well, he's with us at Casino Quest. He's helping us. Him and Carla, they're part of Get, and so we were talking about the clink clink clink. That you get so excited to hear that. You would hear that across the whole casino and be like, oh my
And you
god!
looked.
And
Even though you
looked.
can't see,
No.
you still looked.
Clink 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 clink, and that whole sort of very visceral thing that went on in the
Now
casino
it's gone.
floor. And yeah, a lot of that is
Now it's just the paper.
But they've replicated. So when you cash out your paper, it makes that
It
noise.
does. It's
sort
just
of.
not the same.
It's a digital noise, but
Yeah.
that's how they replicate it. I didn't
Yes.
even remember that or think about that until Trent told me. Like that's why they do that, so
Right.
that it has that sort of old Vegas feel. We're gonna have the old Hopper games with the tokens
Okay.
at Casino Quest. Some of the original light up games. We did a vlog the other day we're gonna be featuring, and it's so cool. For every coin, you remember you used to light up coin number 1,
Yep.
coin number 2,
Yep.
and now boom,
Yep.
now you can win the
Yes.
big
Yes.
prize.
And some people only play 2 coins.
Yeah,
They
no,
thought
no.
it made a difference. It doesn't.
No, it doesn't make it. You're gonna
No.
win when you win. So Trent's explained all that to us. I have all my superstitions though. I hear Trent in the back of my head now with all the math, and I'm like, that's okay. I still got my things.
And there's people that swear sometimes you put the player's card in, sometimes you take it out.
If you don't play with the player's card, that you win. Yeah,
It
no.
doesn't make a
There's a
difference.
lot of those things out there. All right, good. All right, well, fantastic. Thank you, Troy, very much. And we'll see you guys next Wednesday. Even if we post late because we got busy, we posted late. But every Wednesday, 6:30 until we say otherwise. The next show we're trying to have at Fashion Show, we're trying to get all that set up. It looks fantastic. Wait till you guys. We're going to start sharing some pictures of the build out. Uh-oh, we got Sticky laughing away. What happened? Did we get cut off?
Redford, Junkie
Oh, we-
says, Lowell David said 5 minutes left over 10
Hey,
minutes
hey,
ago.
I know. Hey, is anybody still there? So there you go. So everybody's
Yes.
haters, you know what I
There's
mean?
Haters gonna hate.
Haters gonna hate.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next time. And thank you again, Troy.
Glad to be here.
And thank you to Dennis for being on the box.
Yes.
All right. See you guys. Bye.